pailing the best mobile experience. Now, over the 700 teams competed, but only 18 teams could be qualified from 14 different countries. But most important thing, one most important common thing between each of the teams are that they are best of the best. Now, without dealing any time, we would like to invite our top 18 teams. But before that, Raider, I would like to invite you today, my co-caster, onto the another end.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm actually feeling wonderful to be precise on this particular test, and it is going to be quite an amazing one to be precise. Before that, let's talk about the schedule. Let's talk about how these guys are actually going to play with each other and how many matches are going to be there and stuff like that. Let's talk about schedule as well. But before that, guys, let me remind you once again 12 teams have been qualified from the semi finale, and 6 are being invited in the grand finale at the grand stage. But before that, we have got the schedule in front of our faces. Match number 1 is going to be Erangel, match 2 is going to be Miramar, match number 3 is going to be a trump card, that is Sanhok, and after that, to rewind or let's say wrap up this particular day, Erangel is going to be there at the fourth one.
Of course, if we see to the schedule, Raider, the schedule is like we were starting from the by default map Erangel, and then we will end towards the same by default map Erangel, which is a very decent schedule. Teams likes to play a lot of Erangel because we used to play Erangel. We know the strategies, we know the rotations, we know the drop clashes very nicely. So we can take the advantages of these things, but the most important thing is that when we take advantages, there are some disadvantages also, because the plus point, the profit point, which the other teams are also knowing the same plus point and profit point as well.
Yeah, definitely there are actually pros and cons and disadvantages and advantages of every situation or every decision that you actually try to make right now. But if we talk about the map rotation, it is looking very amazing. We are going to start with the by default map, and after that a trump card will be delivered in the third one. But before that, we are going to get the Miramar map also. As we all know, the map of Golden Sands is going to be there, but just right now we are going to start it off with an amazing flight path coming up, which is starting from the regions of Prismok and close by vicinities, and it is going to actually go ahead to STALWART and Kamishki. Well, definitely people who are actually trying to jump in Sosomka military base, Novo Rupnoy, Milta Power, Milta are going to have a lot of ruckus in their mind. But apart from that, if I talk about areas like Georgie Pool, Pochinki, School, Rozak and Yasna Poliana along with 70, well, they are pretty much accessible and people can easily jump in that vicinity.
Yeah, if we look at the fly path, as you explained, it's a diagonal fly path starting from those south western parts of the region and ending towards those northeastern parts of the region. But the most important thing to watch out is that when you go for that drop clashes, there are some major drop clashes which we can see at Pochinki, School, Rozok, Georgipul, Shooting Range, and Savoni. But the drop locations like Military Base, Novo Ripnoi, Power, Livpoka, these are the regions where we can see some feathering skills, some gliding skills. And is there any chances that team will go there for some passive approaches, like if we called teams, they are at those early phases, they are steady, moving slow, and I think that can make a change. If you go with a slow and steady approach, it can make a lot of difference in the upcoming matches.
Well, definitely there is actually a possibility where in a slow and steady race, these people might actually win. But right now, this is the game of PUBG Mobile and it can be very chaotic. The goal is to be actually surviving at the last, but eventually, guys, meanwhile surviving, you are actually trying to decimate a lot of people as well. But apart from that, let's talk about the clashes coming up. I believe behind the Ferry Pier region, I guess we might actually expect some clashes coming up. But look at that beautiful shotgun S6 takedown coming up, and with that, Mini 14 was able to finish off the enemy. First blood already is here right now, and that is coming from MABETEX's end. That is Baron who was able to accumulate that first blood. But apart from that, he is his position, to be precise, has been locked down, and now he's actually in a trouble. I don't think so. He's going to survive a little bit more. And there we go. Baron goes down with a beautiful Uzi coming up, and just like that, two good players from the lobby have already been taken down, and this is what we call a mayhem coming up.
Of course, if we see about those apartment region, it's gonna be quite clusterized, quite chaotic for right now. And if we talk about the loot at those early phases, you don't get that much better loot. You need to get with those shotguns, get with those SMGs and pistol as well. But if we talk about some major drop clashes, that can be seen on those Yasna Polyana regions, the heart of Pochinki or the heart of Erangel, we call it Pochinki. Well, there we can also see some major drop clashes. But if we talk about Team MAB, for now, time being, they are 3 men standing. They have lost one player, Baron. They have secured one finish point, so it's not a well balanced start or a positive start. From my point of view, it's going to be a negative start, because gaining one finish point and reducing your one more player, I think it's going to be quite difficult in upcoming scenarios. But they are still moving for that drop clash. They are trying to take their revenge. Well, let's see, will they able to execute their plan, or there will be some more difficulties for that team.
Well, definitely the difficulties are about to be there because in front of us we have got Team GRS, which is an invited team coming up in the grand finale. And apart from that, Godlike ST is also popping out. That was Action who was able to actually put one down with a beautiful UMP45 action coming up. But right now, if we talk about Delta, the guy is trying to move forward, but another space is coming up. Yes, definitely the trouble is coming up. But Delta manages to put one down with that beautiful AKM shot coming up.
Oh,
Wally also goes on. Two good members
beautiful.
from Team MABETEX have already been taken down. Now it's all about Leo, the last man surviving, the only ray of hope for the team, but he also goes down with a beautiful showdown coming from Delta's corner. And just like that, Team GRS is reigning on top with I guess 3 or 4 amazing finishes into their favor. And the match has just started. You can already see only 3.45 minutes have been passed, and we already have a squad vibe coming up. Apart from that, let me once again remind you which are the top invited teams which are coming up here in the scenario. We have got Even Esports as an invited team, DRS is there, Deadeye is going to be there, IHC is there, Godlike ST is there, and ELEMENTRIX as well is actually going to be there in the lobby as an invited team. Everybody is surviving, but two good teams. Let's say Even Esports is losing one good player, and apart from that, ANGKOR PUBG is also losing one good player. And if we talk about Team MABETEX, well, they are already in the train with only one frag to go with.
If we talk about Team D, well, they are still moving with that slow approach, steady approach in those Rozhok region. If we talk about Team A1, well, for now, time being, they are 4 men standing. They have lost one player. Got no finishers point yet, but it's a quite aggressive lineup. They enjoy taking fights, they enjoy taking competition, and for now time being, if you can see, there's a push coming, having UMP45 in his hand, can take that opening pick, and there you go. Hitman is hitting hard. He is trying to get those some more finishers point, and now the question is that he's going for that 1v2 clutch. Will he able to take him down? No, it's going to be quite troubling for the team try out. It's a team even NP Sports have been taken down with a snap. Oh my god. Team STALWART Esports, well, they have executed this fight quite nicely, quite smoothly, and that was a pleasure to watch out, Raider. The moment that the push came from the vehicle, I think that was quite troubling, that was quite disturbing. I think that push made the push not that remarkable. If the push was from right hand side or left hand side, not a direct push, then I think it could be more better.
See, being an aggressive team is already going to help you a lot. But apart from that, you have to actually predict, you have to actually check out that which is the right team where you have to actually strike on. This is just the first one coming up. You don't have the right kind of utility. Your best is not that up to the mark. You don't have the healings. You don't have the smokes. You don't have the nades. And apart from that, you are pushing forward on a team like STALWART Esports. Well, of course, the trouble is going to be there. And you already see STALWART Esports have got 4 amazing finishes. But apart from that, let's talk about more and more teams coming up. ANGKOR PUBG is losing a lot of HPs. As you all can see, one good member from that particular team has already been decimated. Only 2 good members from that particular team are residing. If I talk about Team PPE, that means PLAYBOOK Esports. Well, they are surviving with the 4-man power, and a one beautiful finish is already there in the backpack. Now, moving up ahead, they have to travel a distance close to, let's say, 1 kilometer to just be in the zone. So definitely, that is something this team has to watch out for. They have to travel. They have to actually acquire a beautiful stance in the particular play zone, because if you don't do so, situations might actually turn down a little bit more shabby. But if we talk about DRS rules, OG, situation is not looking that great for the guy. Well, he's very open-ended. The HP is not that much. Getting some space in his faces. Let's see how he's going to retaliate with it. PLAYBOOK Esports, Rocket was taken down. Apart from that, Rules OG was also traded off, and just like that, Team GRS also loses one good member from the team after having 4 amazing finishes. I never thought that this kind of, let's say, anticipation is going to be there for Team GRS, but I believe Rules OG was way too scattered, way too away from his teammate, and that is why the backup didn't even arrive.
So that was a very great push from the team RBE, team PLAYBOOK Esports, but at those another end, team SKYLIGHTZ is trying to initiate some more finishers point to get some more knocks. If we talk about Mafia Ninja, still trying to get some more finishers point for that M416, then with switching to that AKM, I think this will not work. Yasna Polyana for now time being is not looking that clusterized, is not looking that chaotic for the time being, but if we see the watch time, it's almost 7 minutes, and if we talk about the looting period, Raider, you have 1 more minute left out, and you have to go for those first zone rotation also, because leading to those zone damages will cause you a lot of trouble at those upcoming moments. You should get early rotations, and the teams having a late rotation must have a plan, because without plan you can't play a lot time in this match.
Yeah, definitely it will be very troublesome for these teams to actually acquire the good, amazing blows, and eventually, apart from that, the situations might actually not be that favorable for them, because zone is something which is going to be quite chaotic, and you have to actually pay your respects to the play zone, the timings, and apart from that, you have to actually pay your respects to the enemy as well, because you don't know how they are going to play, what kind of meta they are going to establish, because this is just the first match. After that, you might actually know that how the enemy is going to push forward. But right now, if we talk about one more team, that is going to be IHC. Esports is actually having some good points in their favor. Right now, you can already see the first frag is about to get delivered. That's Hitman who has been taken down. I don't think so the revival is going to be that easy for the guys from Team RTG's corner. So that is actually literally little bit sad and little bit shabby for the particular team. Hitman is about to go down. He is just getting bleeded up. If we talk about Demo, he have got the flank in his favor. He is actually trying to deliver some more blows. If he finds someone, he's absolutely going to rip him apart. But right now, we are actually having one more fight. This is going to be high voltage coming up in a close vicinity with the team UGK. So there might be some fights coming up, and there we go. Range is already getting decimated by the shots coming up, but the shots didn't get connected. Praveen fails to connect the shots from his own corner, but now Alex gets his first blow, and that means IHC is already starting it off. And there, let's say, maiden voyage is coming up to an end, and now they have started to gain some good points.
If we look at those alive status, Team STALWART Esports have secured those finishers point. They have secured those 4 finishers point onto the another end. If we talk about Team HV, for now, their time being, they haven't secured any finish point, 4 men standing. And there you go. The countdown has been started. The zone shrink has been started. Now the teams will be moving inside the zone, and we can see some rotation clashes, some rotation from rotation point of view. You can see some rotation clashes. And if we talk about the drop clashes, the intensity of drop clash was not that expectable. I was expecting a better drop clash. I was expecting a better crowd and cluster. But what I think is, if there's no drop clash at those early phases, then there'll be a lot of rotation clashes, and those end zone could also be more chaotic. But onto the other end, if we talk about Team IHC, Godless, IC, Demo, and Alex. So for now, they are 4 men standing, doing their rotation quite nicely. And there you go. If we talk about the zone, now the zone is favoring totally the northern parts of the region. And if we look at those middle stages, if we look at those water cities and at those shooting areas ranges, I think that's going to be quite clusterized. And onto the another screen, well, there's a Team DC. Well, they're still trying to get some more finishers point. They're still trying to get some more knocks, and one knock push. Will they play like that, or they'll wait, they'll move steadily, or they'll move slowly? It's also a question to watch out.
Now, one of our amazing invited team is already here on our screens. On the left side, you can see that that's Deadeye guys. That's Team GE trying to take a fight on that guy's station. They're trying to deliver some good blows. Let's see how they're going to actually put up the mark. And eventually, will they be able to attack with that M24, or that M416 damage is going to be sustainable for them or not? Apart from that, if we talk about that Georgiapol Bridge area, you can already see some more clashes are coming up between IHC Esports and Team High Voltage. The people are getting connected. They're trying to delegate the fights, but a lot of teams are showing that they are actually trying to travel to the particular play zone, because if I'm not wrong, close to 5 or 6 teams are still outside the play zone, and being outside the play zone is never going to be an advantage for you. In the first few zones, you might actually reside outside the play zone, and that was the meta which was being used in the 2019-2020 era, where people used to actually live outside the particular play zone so that they can avoid the fights. But right now, if we talk about the current status, this is not going to be an easy task for them. Oh, that element of surprise coming from ELEMENTRIX corner. The guy was taken down. I believe that was Showell. Apart from that, another nade has been cooked up, as you all can see, but the gas can comes up as a burst, but still the damage was not that adequate to just actually put him apart. Apart from that, Orange is still surviving. Let's see how Dreams is going to get connected. Another nade has been cooked up. That can be very, very critical for him. The nades are coming up. The nades have been thrown. The damage might actually be sustainable enough, but no, the damage didn't come in. The guy was able to escape from that damage, but still the fight is coming up. ELEMENTRIX Orange wants to take that revenge, wants to actually deliver the frags, and there we go with some beautiful peek and fire. Just like that, he was able to contemplate the fight. Dream OP also goes down to drain. Precious on the other corner is not that precious anymore because he has been taken down. Will there be a survival coming up from that guy's corner? Hacker and Adnan, 2 good members from RTG, are still surviving, waiting to take the revenge, avenging the fight. Let's see how they're going to deliver the fights, but another smoke comes in so that they can just obstruct the vision. Hacker on the other corner, being prone down, tries to deliver some good blows. And if we talk about Yedahuda, he has actually, just like that, let's say, discriminated the particular fights. But apart from that, Precious is about to get the revival.
Well, if we see one more thing, Raider Team ELEMENTRIX is trying to take 2 fights at a single time, which is quite difficult. Your players are busy at 2 another different teams, and which will be quite difficult for your team as well, because taking 2v4 at different region will cost you a lot of things, and this has costed you Shawl because he has been eliminated from here for the time being. But looking at the finishers point, they've secured 1 finishers point, secured top 16 position. Now they'll move for the zone rotations, and the question is that will they able to tackle down the scenarios, because after the second zone and third zone, the damage of the zone will be quite hard and non-reducible. You cannot beneath inside the zone, you cannot breathe inside the zone for a larger time of the period. But if we look at the zone, well, they have to travel 1492 meters inside the zone, which is a very large distance. at those second zone. But if they have the vehicles, they can do it very easily. On to the other end, high voltage. Well, the name justify the team. Well, let's see, will they able to show the same circumstances of high voltage as the name justify the team or not? But at those southern parts of the region, if we talk about the teams, almost 4 to 5 teams are there. A big cluster is formed out, and in the northern parts, well, for the now, it's going to be the silent region of the zone. If we talk about the teams, the STALWART Esports, well, they are the table toppers for the now time being. If we talk about 16 teams, 56 players at the current situation, they have secured top 16 position with those 5 finishes point, with those 4 man standing advantage. I think this is the start which is required by the every team. But onto the another end, Assassin prone down, trying to take some more sprays, trying to get some more finishes point, but still, there you go. There's a flag, and Assassin need to change the position.
Well, definitely. He tries his level best to change the position. He tries his level best to avoid the confrontation coming up, but I don't think so. It's going to be an easy task for him. But there we go. Probin pops one out from IHC, and that's going to be Demo, who is down to train. Apart from that, IC also cooks up a beautiful nade. Fails to connect it. Still, the damage is coming up. If I talk about EB's Bicane, he was able to put one down from Team Deadeye, guys. That's interesting. A lot of people are going down to train. A lot of people are actually getting connected. But apart from that, IC is trying to cook up a beautiful nade. Assassin on the other corner managed to get the part, managed to get the finish. But Propine, that's the guy with some beautiful throwables. He's just running the tides. He's just running the fights in his favor. Apart from that, some more nades, some more throwables are being used up. I see meanwhile cooks some more nades, but fails to connect anybody because there was no one at the way he is actually trying to pull up the nade. On the other corner, if we talk about Team Deadeye, guys, if you're trying to mob their members, so of course the comeback is going to be there. But look at that sneaky shot coming from Assassin's corner. This guy is unstoppable for the moment. But apart from that, Assassin spots one, and now it's IHC who is actually going to be on the crosshair. But Assassin coming up with the first hit, trying to patch himself so that he can actually fight back, so that he can retaliate. Nade actually comes up with a beautiful damage, and there we go. Assassin gets down from Godless's corner. That's interesting to watch. Our team IHC is already receiving some good shots. I mean, at the other end of the spectrum, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is getting the attention. Action is actually coming up with the domination. GODL already Esports is on another rampage right now.
Of course, they are totally playing phenomenal for the time being. But if we look towards Team IHC, they have secured those 2 finishes point, trying to get some more knocks because they're trying to get those grenades, molotovs at those right point at those right time. But for the now, this ridge is playing a quite chaotic role. If you see Raider in front of them, there's another team, but behind them, if some other teams come, it could be more difficult for their survival. But Assassin in the open scenarios, the revival going to be quite tough. Alex trying to get some more grenades, some more throwables. But on to the other end, there you go. Expro has been spotted, taken down, and John Pro, while having MP45 in his hand, the artificial cover of smoke. I think, let's see for how much more time will it help him, for how much more time will it cause a cover to him. But if we talk about the team's potential, only 2 men standing for the time being, and there you go, again the hard shift. Only 2 to 3 teams are inside the zone, and on to the another end, Team IHC is also looking in very big trouble. Let's see, will they able to survive here, or they'll eliminate right now.
The survival is questionable for the moment. IHC Alex comes up with a knockout coming up. A Godless being the last man standing of his particular team, trying to delegate the fights, trying to bring back the glory of IHC in the game, trying to actually resurrect the fame, resurrect the support of the fans coming up, but still fails to do so. The grenades didn't actually got connected. Apart from that, now Praveen is about to taste the glory coming from IHC's corner. Some more sprays have been delivered, but fails to connect anybody. Right now, it's a 1v3 type of situation coming up. The nades being cooked up. Let's see how he's going to retaliate with the fight. Another beautiful 1v1 being delivered, as you can see. The 1v1 comes in, managed to put down Assassin, still tries to delegate the fight, but finally the guy has been taken down. It's IHC who is being wiped out at 16th position with only 2 eliminations.
Of course, they have been wiped out for the time being, but onto the another end, if we look at the team survival, 14 teams, 43 players, but there you go, John Pro for the time being has been taken down, and that was a phenomenal knock. ANGKOR PUBG Mobile, well, for the time being, they have been eliminated, but if we look at the zone is quite clusterized for the time being. If we talk about Team UG, well, UG, Crane, Few, and Vaco are surviving. They have 4 men standing, 0 finishes point, and they are totally holding at those gas station. I think they're moving with that slow approach, steady approaches. Let's see, when will the time come when they'll accelerate out the gears, accelerate the weapons, and get some more finishes point. But if we talk about Team Para, they are also moving very slowly, very steadily, acquiring their position point, acquiring their man advantage, because at those last zone, the position point and the man advantage will help them a lot to gain the finishes point at last. But what do you think, Raider? Which team will get those most number of finishes point or most number of place point?
Well, if you talk about the aggression coming up, I would like to go with Team STALWART Esports, godlike STALWART Esports to be precise. The way they are performing is absolutely exceptional, and there we go. The caster curse comes in, Pika is already wiped out, Pika is already down to the drain. Apart from that, if we talk about Action and Sky, they are trying to delegate the fights, they are trying to survive. Action, way too low on his HP, still tries to delegate the fight. Molotov cocktails are coming up from, I guess, Sky's corner, but let's see how they are going to connect it. If we talk about Team GRS, Kyante is there, Delta is there, Killer YT already being knocked out. I don't think so the revival is going to be that possible for Killer YT, but if I talk about Delta, well, this guy is trying to push forward. Well, there we go. The enemy has been spotted. The sprays are coming up. A beautiful 1v1 coming from Delta's corner, and the result is STALWART. Team godlike STALWART Esports is getting decimated like pickles. And now if we talk about Action, the last man standing gets spotted from Delta's corner, and just like that, godlike STALWART Esports at the 13th rank without any position points gets eliminated with only 8 frags in their favor.
11 teams with 35 plus are still surviving. If we talk about Team SKYLIGHTZ, they have secured 7 finishes point in the backpack. For the time being, they are 4 men standing, and on to the another end, Team ELEMENTRIX. They are playing as the X factor of the match, getting those third parties finishes point, getting those stealing finishes point in the backpack, which will cost them a lot of points in the point table. And for now, they have secured 3 finishes point, if you see, Raider. And let's see, will they able to secure more finishes point or not? But the zone shrink, well, it's going to be quite disturbing, quite challenging for the time being, because 18 minutes to 19 minutes are getting over, and the zone damage can be also very crucial. But if we talk about Team PBE, well, they are totally attacked on the gas station, Molotov in hand. Will that Molotov make any connection? Will that get him some more initial finishes point? Because those initial crucial finishes point can change the game.
Game changers are already coming up in the lobby. 9 teams are surviving, 29 players are surviving at this moment, and as you all can see, Team PLAYBOOK Esports is not looking that great. Rocket is already getting decimated from the back foot already. A damage comes in. Demigod also gets decimated, and just like that, PLAYBOOK Esports at the 9th position with only 2 eliminations. That means total of 3 points is actually going out in the drain. Now if we talk about Team UGK, that's going to be underground. Team, to be precise, the performance is actually coming up very amazing. They are actually having 0 finishes in their favor, but still the 4-man power is there. They are actually having a decent spot in the zone, but moving up ahead, the zone has actually been shifted. The gas, let's say, station is not going to be favorable enough. So yeah, they have to travel. They are cooking up a lot of smoke so that they can easily travel through that smoke and create a deception for the enemy. Apart from that, the team known as DRS, the one who actually eliminated Team godlike STALWART Esports, is moving like a lion in the lobby, and just like that, they are hunting their prey, and they are being a predator, which are actually very violent in their kind of, let's say, stance. So now let's see how they're going to move up. Now let's see how they're going to gatekeep. I believe DRS is already trying to gatekeep quite a few teams, and I guess the teams are actually going to face the fate really very soon. Another team with a 4-man power, I believe it could be high voltage.
If we talk about Team SKYLIGHTZ, for now the time being, they're moving towards another team. They're trying to hunt another team as well. Well, getting those right smokes, right grenades at perfect point. I think they'll get some more finishes point. But if we talk about Enigma, well, some overconfidence, overcommitment will cost him his elimination. But onto the end, Boro, well, finally has taken that the final blow, and he'll get some more finishes point. But if we talk about Killer, well, a nice angle, a nice spray, laser pinpoint spray, and those height advantage is helping him a lot to get some more finishes point. If we talk about Team UGR, well, now they are looking in trouble because they are getting clusterized to a limited position. They are getting clusterized to a limited area, and grenades, molotov shots at those regions will cause them elimination. But 7 teams, 21 players are surviving. 20 to 21 minutes are almost over, and DRS is taken. Well, finally it has been taken down, and the one and only team to get this match, the one and only contender to get this match, I think Team SKYLIGHTZ and Team DRS are the 2 teams which are looking forward to get those 2 contender very aggressively.
Definitely, the winner chicken is something every team is actually trying their level best to take a hand on. Apart from that, the remaining 7 teams trying to delegate the fights. DRS with the 9 amazing finishes, and SKYLIGHTZ being one of the most violent team with the 12 finishes in their favor is looking very sharp in the lobby. Apart from that, if we talk about Team Underground, let's see how they're going to actually create the chaos. So some nades have been cooked up, and I believe the nades are actually about to be there in front of them. Apart from that, Team DRS is about to receive some fates, but Kyante managed to put one down with a beautiful nade. That's Speed who is actually taken down. Team Deadeyes is also popping out. ELEMENTRIX, good number are getting eliminated. A lot of teams are getting decimated at this right moment, and there we go. Emulate official is also getting eliminated at HASTAG 6. Apart from that, DRS Gante comes up with the nade eliminations, and he's not going to stop anytime soon with 11 amazing points in his favor as a kill. This team is just moving on. They are just unbeatable for now, but I believe more and more teams are about to be there in the zone. Be it teams like SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, or to be precise, teams like, let's say, UGK, or Team Deadeye Guys is also surviving, one of those amazing invited teams. He's going to confront another invited one, so that is actually going to be quite chaotic to watch out. But Team UGK, that's Underground Kings, they are still surviving. They are not moving up to the charm, but they don't have the right kind of finishers, but they are a little bit outside the play zone as well. I don't think so they have got the smokes which are required. There we go. Lucy already getting picked up. Lucy is already actually getting down, so that means Team Underground Kings are now at the crosshairs of SKYLIGHTZ as well.
Well, if we look at Team SKYLIGHTZ, they have secured 12 finishes point, and they're looking very great in this match because having 12 finishes point in their backpack at those top 5 teams, and they're almost a 4 players are surviving. But there you go with that headshot, Joker with that phenomenal headshot with that M416 and 4x. That was really a very pleasure to look out. But if we talk about Team D, well, they are looking above the ground, and Ninma, well, he is down the ground. It's going to be quite difficult for the team to get those finishes point. But there you go, Mutton, if I'm not wrong, he's getting some more finishes point. He's taking the advantage of his heights advantages. And I think if we talk about Team Para, well, they are also looking very aggressive for the time being. 4 to 5 players are surviving at the time being, and they have secured 5 finishes point in the backpack. 24 minutes are almost over, and the lobby is getting totally aggressively. Let's see which team will get those winner chicken dinner. But Team SKYLIGHTZ getting those height disadvantage, I think they are looking in very danger.
Well, already Boro has been taken down. AJ is onto his knees, and if we talk about Mafia Ninja, that is going to be the last man standing of his particular team. He's the only ray of sunshine for this particular team. But SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, after having a very chaotic match, a very violent one, a very decimative match to be precise, now they are actually coming up to an end because Mafia Ninja, I don't think so this guy will be able to actually retaliate and gain the winner chicken dinner, because that is something every team wants to actually go with. Deadeye Guys with the 4-man power is looking unstoppable for the moment, and the only team with the 4-man power is a way too committed to actually get that winner chicken dinner. But I believe very soon another need comes in, and just like that, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is also out of equation with only 8 points as per the position. And if we talk about I guess the finishes that they've attained, that's 12. So a total of 20 pointer that they have actually made is absolutely amazing. ANGKOR PUBG also gets eliminated with only 2 kills in their favor, and position point is going to be 10. That's interesting. Now the battle is between 2 big giants of the PUBG mobile gaming community, and that's DRS Gaming and Deadeye Guys. 2 good teams trying to confront each other. The zone is already getting confronted. The zone is already getting concentrated. And if we talk about Delta, Gante, and Killer YT, the killer instinct of these guys is already going to kick in very soon.
Most important thing, if you watch Raiders, the both teams are coming with that man advantages. The both team have came with 4 to 3 man strong advantages, which is a very consistent performance throughout the match. And if we talk about Team DRS, well, have sustained that. I have seen this team playing very nicely, very aggressively throughout the match. But question is that will they able to attain that chicken dinner right now? Will they able to capitalize the chicken dinner right now? This is the question arising. And if we talk about Team D, well, they are totally aggressively moving. Killer YT has been spotted, taken down. Anno is trying to finish him off, but there you go. Delta is trying to create some cover. Delta is trying to create some barrier in between, and he's trying to retain the position, retain the scenario. But I think the other scenario is for that 1v4. But no. Deadeye Guys is finally coming with that winner chicken dinner, and there you go. The first match of the first day is won by Team Deadeye, and which was totally unexpected. But the man advantages at those ends and end zone made it quite expectable, Raider.
What a spectacular match coming up. What a beautiful showdown coming up from Team Deadeye Guys. The way they retaliated, the way they performed in their favor was absolutely amazing. I mean, Delta, Gyante, and if I talk about, let's say, Killer YT, these are 3 good members coming from Team DRS's corner, and they are one hell of a, let's say, carnageous player coming up. But still, the reign of terror comes in the hands of Team Deadeye Guys. The way they had the 4-man power, the way they delegated the fight, the way they retaliated was absolutely mesmerizing. And with a beautiful showdown coming up just like that, the guys was absolutely on point. They were able to attain some good points in their favor, and just like that, the beautiful winner chicken dinner of the first match of the grand finale of Frontline Showdown is already in the hands of Team Deadeye Guys. I love the way the consistency game went on. In the semi-finale, I was talking about this aspect that you are one of the top teams which are actually getting qualified for the semi-finale, but watch out for the teams which are being invited into the grands as well, because only 12 teams have been qualified from the semi-finale. Apart from that, if we talk about 6 teams which have been invited in the grand finale, that's going to be teams like ELEMENTRIX, there are IHC is there, Deadeye Guys is going to be there, DRS is there, GODL STALWART is there, and should I say, these particular teams are very chaotic in their own way. They are actually very aggressive, and there is a reason why they have been invited in the grand finale. They have actually maintained their legacy in the past. They have showcased their strength, and right now they are already showing it. Even if you talk about teams like, let's say, God like STALWART Esports, they were not going down with zero finishes. They had 8 amazing eliminations. They performed exceptionally well. They performed amazingly, but still they were unable to, let's say, just delegate with the fight, and eventually DRS was able to capitalize on that. And as you all can see, the winner chicken dinner plaque with the Guys logo in front of us is already coming up, and the way they show down this, let's say, strength was absolutely amazing.
Course, the strength was absolutely amazing. But if we talk about the MVPs of the day, I think we'll wait for we'll wait for that also. But if I talk about Stalwart Esports, Raider, I was expecting a better performance from their side. But there you go, DE Joker sir has finally secured those six
Man.
finishers point, six elimination, and dealing with the damage of 950 and 46.15 contribution towards his team, which is totally phenomenal. In chat, also I can see when it's come to aim, nobody can compromise with the DE Joker, and he's proving its worth quite nicely.
Indeed, indeed. I was about to read the chat as well, because it's very amazing to see that how people actually know and support their favorite actually members. Right now, if I talk about the highlights, look at that. This is how actually everything started. DRS went on a rampage, and actually they confronted MABETEX's member. Just like that, Team MABETEX was down to drain. Apart from that, if I talk about Team Maven and Esports, they tried their level best to retaliate and eventually confront the team known as God like STALWART Esports, but they were unable to do so. A beautiful retaliation was there. The last two good members, they just went on ham in the PUBG. They were unable to even drop down from the PUBG, and just like that, they were picked up. And if I talk about Team RTG Esports, Dream Soapy was able to take one good member from ELEMENTRIX corner, but after that, the retaliation came in. Assassin with some beautiful throws of his own managed to put one down from Team IHC, but after that, the retaliation fire coming from IHC, GODL was absolutely amazing, and that's how Team High Voltage actually came to an end.
Of course, Team High Voltage came to an end, but on to the another end, if we talk about Team IHC, they were trying their level best, but the last player, Godless, he has taken one more blood and moving towards another, but dealing 1v2, 1v3 at those limited regions, at those clusterized regions is not possible. Dealing with it at open regions, because you have areas to run, you have areas to escape, you have areas to tackle down. But if we talk about DRS, well, they have played quite nicely. They showed their capability, they showed their potential, but at last, I think due to that man disadvantage, it was very difficult for the team to get that chicken dinner, because consistency was shown by the teams at those zone advantages as well. The teams acquiring the early rotations and early phases, they secured the early rotation and got those center of the zone, which were quite crucial and quite important for them also.
Indeed, indeed. The picks were coming up, and eventually, if we talk about the last few fights coming up, Team Guys tried their level best to retaliate, and apart from that, Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming started getting picked off. Look at that, how beautifully Joker Sir was able to retaliate in front of that guy known as AJ. Apart from that, Nima went out quite swiftly. Apart from that, if we talk about Mr. Boro, he tried his level best to retaliate. He was very low on his HP, but just like that, he was also taken down from Joker Sir's corner. After that, if we talk about Mafia Ninja, I believe he received a beautiful nade from Team Deadeye Guys to be precise, and there we go. Joker Sir's nade was able to pop him out of the equation, and just like that, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming was out of the trouble. Now, remaining two teams were Team Deadeye Guys and eventually Team DRS Gaming. Killer Whitey went out, Gyante went out, and the last member which was standing was Delta. Although Delta is very aggressive, although Delta has the gunpowder that can actually establish a lot of norms, but still he was also taken down. Now, the overall statistics after the finals of day one, match number one to be precise, is coming up in our faces. 64 total eliminations were there, and the total healing points was actually 9,005. Total knockouts coming up in the lobby was 74. Throwables were used quite swiftly, as you can see. 313 throwables were being used, and 3 airdrops were being looted. 7 headshots being delivered. 26 rescues was also there, and the guy with the longest elimination is going to be ELEMENTRIX's Orange, with 365 meter of elimination coming up in his favor.
Well, of course, that was totally phenomenal to watch out. But if we talk about the headshot, well, total 7 headshots were taken, total 74 knocks were done in the match, and 9,005 healings were also used. And if we talk about the airdrops, well, total 3 airdrops were also there, and this was a quite a phenomenal match to watch out. And if we talk about the teams, they totally played quite aggressively, quite intentively, with their motive clear that they need to get those winner chicken dinner. But day one, match one, if we talk about the MVP, well, there you go. I think it's at hashtag 2. It's a DE Joker Sir. And DRX Delta X with those 7 finishes point in their backpack. If we talk about the highest damage, it's ST Action 988 damage. If we talk about highest assist, Para is coming with that 4 assist, and highest knocks is required by DE Joker Sir again. Well, if you get those MVP, I think he will be surely in these lists as well. But if we talk about X Orange, he has secured 365 meter longest elimination in this match.
Now we have got the match with Sandy coming out after the day number one, match number one. We have got Deadeye guys on top with 28 amazing points, which is absolutely mesmerizing. 15 for the placement, 15 for getting that winner chicken to be precise, and 13 points are there for their eliminations that they have actually made possible with the gun game that they actually uphold. DRS Gaming on the other corner lags behind with only 2 points with 26 points in their favor. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming with 20 points as well. ANGKOR PUBG, despite of getting eliminated at the third position, they are residing at the fourth in the match by standing, just because they didn't have the right kind of, let's say, eliminations which were required. God like STALWART getting decimated at hashtag 9, if I'm not wrong, hashtag 10 or hashtag 13 to be precise. Yeah, that team was taken down at hashtag 13, if I'm not wrong, God like STALWART, but still in the match was standing there at hashtag 5 because of the aggression that they actually showcased. That means 8 amazing eliminations to be precise. If we talk about Underground Kings with 6 points, they are at hashtag 6. ELEMENTRIX with 5 points of their own at hashtag 7. Emulate Esports with the 4 position points to be precise, they are actually at hashtag 8. And this is how the leaderboard went out. The teams coming from hashtag 9 to the hashtag 18, they are not looking that strong in terms of their, let's say, aggression. So definitely they have to evolve. Definitely they have to come up with some good spirits.
If we talk about elimination and damage stats, well, in this, the team which is getting those highest damages, team SKYLIGHTZ Esports with 2281 damage in their backpack, and team which is getting the highest elimination is none other than team DRS with those 14 elimination in the backpack. But the damage secured by this team is 2033, which is almost like stumbling and almost like equal to team SKYLIGHTZ. So it's only the difference of 100 or 200. But let's see if we talk about the other teams. So I was expecting more from team STALWART Esports, team A1. Let's see in the upcoming matches how will they perform. But at those another stages, if we talk about team D, with those 13 finishes point, they have secured first position and with the damage of 2080 in their backpack.
Indeed, the damage is absolutely mesmerizing. But right now, if we talk about the map rotations coming up, we should remember that the next match is going to be one hell of a chaotic one, because that's the Miramar map coming up. In the first one, just a short recap that the guys won with a beautiful winner chickener with total 28 points in their favor to be precise. But right now, the match number 2 is going to be the map of Miramar, which is again going to be quite chaotic to watch out, which is again going to be full of joys and stuff like that. But right now, if we talk about the head-to-head, we have got DE Joker in the left corner, and on the right corner, it's DRS's Delta with 7 eliminations. He's leading the charts with the eliminations, but in the terms of damage, well, Delta Joker, to be precise, is going to be on top. Assist is pretty much same in both of the guys. If we talk about the throwables, Delta is one of those guys who have actually attained some good points in terms of his throwables as well, with 19 throwables being used from Delta corner and 12 only being used from Joker's corner. Situations are looking a bit more tidy for Delta at this moment, but eventually in the head-to-head, I believe Delta is going to be way more chaotic. Delta can be way more effective, and that is something I guess that I guys Joker sir has to be actually worried about. But apart from that, everything looks very calm and very peaceful. This is the way the chaos is going to be there. I believe the map of Miramar is going to be one hell of a showdown coming up. But before that, guys, make sure to like, because I can see that likes are not that as much. People are actually here right now, but they are not liking the streams. But right now, we are going to take a short break, and after that, we are going to witness the carnage coming up in the next one, which will be the map of Miramar. These 18 teams are going to take an head to head. My name is Raider. Along with me, it's going to be Eagle coming up on the desk once again. So make sure to actually stay tuned, and let's take a short break right now.
एक सेकंड क्रोमा सेट हो गया था, बट वो बीच में गड़बड़ हो गया. जस्ट अ सेकंड. मैच के पीछे बहुत दिक्कत हो रहा था सेट करने में. लाइट भी बंद हो गई थी. जस्ट अ सेकंड. रेडर 1 मिनट होल्ड करना ब्रदर, मेरी पावर कट हो गई है. 1 मिनट, ठीक है.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back with the showdown coming up, which is known as Frontline Showdown, and it is very amazing to watch out that how the people are trying to perform and eventually gaining some good points. My name is Rita, and along with me it's Eagle on desk. Welcome, Eagle, once again. And after a short break of 4-5 minutes, we are back again with the chaos coming up in the map of Miramar.
Well, of course, this map going to be quite chaotic and quite disturbing for the time being. If we talk about those hilly regions, if we talk about those ridges region, I think it's going to be quite difficult for the team to tackle out. And we can see a lot of bolt action, a lot of sniper rifles in this match. It's going to be quite entertaining at the same point of the time and quite disturbing for the teams as well.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that chaos is going to be there. The people are actually trying to take some good fights eventually. And even if I talk about some vehicle rotations, I guess not even a single vehicle is safe in that. Even if you try to travel with a
Yeah.
bike, even if you try to travel with a buggy or let's say closed pickup truck, or if I talk about the open pickup truck, or if I talk about like Mirado and stuff and Coupe RG, every single vehicle is actually filled with some pros and cons of their own. And eventually, the ridges which actually come in the map of Miramar is absolutely very tricky to deal with, and that can be very chaotic to watch out, because when you are trying to rotate, you are actually a sitting duck for some good guys which are trying to spray you down. And remember, guys, these are the PMPL teams. These are one of those top teams of the South Asian region, to be precise. So definitely their sprays are not going to be worthless. They are going to pinpoint you out of the vehicle. Your heads are going to be blown to bits. So definitely people have to actually watch out for that particular precise moment as well. Rotation clashes for sure are going to be there. Third parties are going to be there. I believe Miramar is the secondary name of third parties.
Of course, Melamar is the secondary name of third parties, but as well as if you talk about this rotation, the rotation gonna be quite slow. There's gonna be the quite slow map, but after this match, we're gonna see the match of Sanhok, which is a fast map, which is a
Right.
very progressive map, but the upcoming match is of Miramar, which is very troubling for the team. If we talk, as you said, if we talk about the vehicle rotation gonna be quite slow. On the slow phases, the teams are going to get quite tricky at those ridges rotation. But if we talk about the flight path, well, there you go. The flight path is going to be quite diagonal, starting from those northwestern part of the region, ending toward those southeastern parts of the region. Some major drop locations like Picado, Los Leones, La Bendita, El Pozo, La Cobria, water treatment, these can be the targeted region for the major drop clashes. These drop location can be the major targeted region. But if we talk about those silent regions, for according to this fly path, Chumakera, Minas General, Torre Audo, El Hazar are the region to watch out. Will teams go there for the silent approach, for the silent start of the match?
Well, definitely people like, let's say, love to drop in the silent vicinities, but eventually if I talk about this kind of teams, these kinds of 18 teams, they are actually very aggressive in terms of their stance. The way they actually pull up the action is absolutely mesmerizing. People like, let's say, high voltage could actually jump in the Chumasara region, or Torre Ahumuda can actually, being precise, very, let's say, advantageous for them, because nobody is going to just, let's say, decide to drop in that vicinity. But if we talk about the play zone, it is fairly a southern one. Los Angeles is actually going to be sort of the central hub of this particular area, but I can see even esports apart from that. ANGKOR PUBG is there, MABETEX is going to be there. That means two or three teams are already dropping in that vicinity. But Los Angeles, well, that's the hugest compound that you can actually get in the PUBG Mobile region. So definitely these compounds are going to be quite, let's say, mesmerizing, and eventually you can easily gain a good amount of loot in your perspective. Apart from that, if I talk about the areas of San Martin or even the Picado region, I believe the fights are definitely going to be there, and we can already see the people are actually trying to come in a close vicinity, and there might be a tug of war between these particular teams. Hashtag Esports starting it off in the Los Angeles region. Let's see how they're going to deal with the fights, because in front of them they have got quite a few amazing teams. So definitely it's going to be a troublesome fight for them.
Well, I treat Los Leones as a small Sanhok. I treat Los Leones as a mini Sanhok because it's such a big region that almost 4 to 5 teams can travel out there. 4 to 5 teams can adapt out there. But for the now time being, STALWART Esports looking around some San Martin regions in front of them. It's a team AP. Well, let's see how will they execute this fight. What are their plans? What if we talk about the loot? Well, M416 with that. AP45 in his hand, it's a quite basic head start toward the match. Try to get some more first initiating picks is more crucial. Well, there you go. V top is still trying to get some more finishes point. 18 teams, 69 players for the time being is surviving in this lobby. 2 to 3 minutes are almost over. You have more 4 to 5 minutes to get your loot completed very nicely, because the more you have your loot, the more you can attract the players, defend your teammates from your enemies.
Definitely, that is going to be the case. But if I talk about Team God like Salvador Esports, Pika Action Top, and Sky are there right now, and this is one of those amazing teams which can easily turn the tides. And now, as well, can see one more player has been spotted. Two good players from Team STALWART Esports being decimated, being down to the drain. Sky is there, Pika is there, who is out of equation. Now, top and action, the two aggressive players, the deadly duo is about to get recited in the lobby. Let's see how they're going to take the fight in the ASEAN region. As you can see, action is actually a bit more close. And if we talk about top, he's a bit more scattered. So definitely a tipsy-turvy turn is going to be there between these two guys. And there we go. Sky being eliminated from Team ANGKOR PUBG. Deadsy was the guy who was able to just retaliate with it and eventually gain some good points. But right now, action and top, both of them have to be very vigilant because the squad of Team ANGKOR PUBG is not going to let it go that easily. They want to hunt the fights, they want to hunt the skulls, and they will be able to do so just the way they are trying to perform. They are very aggressive in terms of their gun stance, and they are trying to capitalize a lot of fights. And Hacienda could be a very beautiful place where you can easily reside. But we have to watch out for this situation as well. That Hacienda is not in the zone, and there we go. Action is coming up with a retaliation, and just like that, a knockout comes in.
Well, of course, action is coming with that retaliation. But if we talk about STALWART Esports, in the first match, they were not looking so good. Same as to the second match. In this match, those two elimination will cost them a bit higher. But at the same time, will they able to come back or not? This is also a question arising. But on to the another end, if we talk about the Los Leones region, MAB, well, they have also lost two players, have secured one finish point in the backpack. But on to the another end, VTOP has been taken down. Team APP is totally coming back in action, and Team STALWART Esports is looking really, very in big trouble. Team MAB, well, after losing those players, they're still looking with that same confidence, same intent, moving towards those fights. But let's see, will they able to take some more fights, or they'll move for those slow and steady approaches? Because maximizing their loot, getting those place points this match is more variable for this team right now, because you have lost many players at those early phases, and this will cost you early elimination, which will not lead to you a lot of points in the point table. But STALWART Esports, action is the last survivor for the team, the last solo player standing. Will he go for that revival, or will he able to do that clutch? This is the question arising.
Indeed, the clutch is something people actually want to actually go with, but right now, action being the last man standing of his particular team, top already being decimated, tried his level best to actually retaliate, and the push is coming up. Definitely, the push is going to be quite vital to watch out. Action comes up with a beautiful nade, but nobody got tagged with that particular nade. Now he's got only one smoke in his favor. That won't actually help him a lot. Apart from that, well, there we go. The DPS shots are about to get right, and there we go. The DPS is coming up, and just like that, action also goes out of the equation. And this is something I believe the fans of God like Albert don't want to actually witness, because the way this chaos is coming, the way the retaliation fire is coming from ANGKOR PUBG, the way this particular team was able to retaliate with the one of those aggressive teams is absolutely mesmerizing. Now, moving up to the food chain, let's talk about the Picado region. We have got Underground Kings in our favor. We have got High Voltage in the scene. Both of these teams are trying to just delegate the fights and eventually trying their level best to attain some good points. And I believe Team MABETEX is also there in the close vicinity. And if they are not there in the lobby, I believe it's a blessing in disguise from them as well, because Picado is a region where the third parties are inevitable. In the red building, we have got Underground Kings, and if we talk about the arena region, well, we have got High Voltage in the season, and they are trying to delegate. They're trying to take up the fight, waiting for the right moment to strike on. Because even if you are trying to actually create a small movement, the movement is pretty much visible from the red building as well.
Well, if we talk about Pecado, this is the core region. This is the center region of the whole map of Miramar, and which we called as a heart of Miramar. Quite chaotic region, quite disturbing region. But if we talk about High Voltage, last match was a really high voltage performing match from this team. But let's see about this match. This is a different map, and the players are obviously same. But the question is that how will they able to capitalize it? But here, Hashtag is coming with that phenomenal drop shot. He'll knock one player. He'll get that player immensely. But onto the another end, Sam onto the another has been taken down. This is what you do and what you get in return is totally impeccable to watch out. But if we talk about Ahmed, Adi and Aquanox, well, these are the last three players standing, have secured one finish point, have got one player eliminated also, so almost a balanced start from their side. And I was very surprised. I think it was very surprising, a sudden push from another team. I think that was also surprising for Team Hashtag as well. But 17 teams, 63 players, almost 7 to 8 minutes are over. Now you need to get ready for those rotations, because after 1 or 2 minutes later, the zone will start shrinking.
Well, definitely the zone will start shrinking, and eventually, when the zone starts shrinking, the trouble is actually going to reside, and eventually, it will be very chaotic for them to survive with. Team MABETEX, well, they are looking, let's say, a bit more untidy in this situation, but they are still trying to deal with the fights. Two good members from their particular team has been decimated. Hashtag, if we talk about that particular team, Sam OP was actually taken down. Sam 69 to be precise is the guy who has already been taken down. One good member from Team MABETEX is coming up in a close vicinity, and this can be very troublesome. As you all can see, the fights are actually getting summarized. The people are actually coming up in the close quarters. The fights are actually getting quite tricky to actually deal with. But there we go. Leo waits for the right moment to strike with. Leo is still waiting. IHC on the other corner managed to put one down. And if I talk about Team Malik, Team High Voltage to be precise, Malik is the guy who was able to put one down. Team IHC is wreaking havoc. And there we go. Leo comes up with some beautiful UMP 45 shots. And AKM is the gun which is going to help him to finish off the journey of Ahmed from Team Hashtag. Now, if we talk about Team IHC, Godless with that generator, with that, let's say, M249 was able to retaliate and eventually put one down from Team ELEMENTRIX. Right now, ELEMENTRIX resides with the last man standing, and that's going to be Shawl. Nade goes in. The damage was definitely there, but definitely not enough to actually put them apart. Spray comes in. It's a 1v2 situation coming up, but he was so close to put down Demo as well, and if that could have actually happened, he would have easily attained 2 good frags in his favor and might be able to retaliate with the squad as well.
Team Hashtag is looking in very big trouble. Andy now being that solo player standing heavy UMP 45 in his backpack. 24 bullets remaining, and there you go. He has finally done it for the team. But now that the bad news is that solo player standing for the team. Only 3 finishes point in the backpack, and now he needs to travel the whole match, get the whole match for his team alone. But he'll of course get the support from those voice messages, Raider. But if we talk about the Los Leones, finally Los Leones is looking a little bit stubborn, a little bit quiet right now because the elimination of teams are totally done now for the time being. 15 teams, 54 players are surviving. But Pecado is looking very chaotic, very clusterized. Team High Voltage, well, they have secured 2 finishes point without any player loss. This is the start which we were waiting for from Team High Voltage. But DBS, AKM, a very lethal combination, a very phenomenal combination. Well, let's see how will Prabin utilize this combination.
Well, I believe this guy is more than confident to actually retire with the fight, but Assassin gets taken down, and now it's actually looking a bit more shaky for the team. Few on the other corner is also going to pop up a beautiful nade, and if that nade gets connected, and there we go, the damage is still there. Jiggle survives. Jiggle is trying to just retaliate from the particular fight. If I talk about, I guess, the other guy, well, there we go. Wako goes out with a beautiful TBA shot being connected. Apart from that, few, if I talk about that guy, the Munets are being connected, and Praveen gets retaliated with that beautiful nade. Malik on the back foot is trying to actually come up with some shots, but Malik also gets receiving from the fuse corner. That is absolutely amazing. Team UGK, or should I say Underground Kings, is absolutely unbeatable right now, and another spray is actually coming up. Finally, Jiggle managed to put the end to the story, and just like that, Underground Kings at hashtag 15 without any elimination goes out. That means 0 points for them in this particular matchup. 14 teams residing, 51 players still surviving. Let's see how they're going to pull up the socks and eventually get the fights done and dusted, because the second zone, well, it's about to get compromised.
Well, of course, if we talk about teams, so there are 14 teams, so 51 players for the time being surviving. 11 to 12 minutes are almost over. And if we talk about Team A1, for the time being, they are 4 men standing, 1 finishes point, moving very steadily, very slowly, because last match was not that good for the team. And now it's going to be quite disturbing if they are not able to perform well in this match as well. So they are moving very slowly, very quietly in this match. They'll try to get some more finishes point. They'll try to adapt in this map. They'll try to adapt in the lobby, and then they'll show their aggression, which they are known for. But let's see what will be the strategy in this map. Will they try to take fight at those end zone, at those 5th zone or 6th zone, or they'll try to take fight in the 2nd, 3rd zone? This is also a question. The fans are waiting for the answers. But on the other end, as those height advantages, there's some more teams waiting. And Miramar, as we all know, it's all about this height advantages, all about those players advantages. The more height you have, the more security reasons, the more advantage you will have in the match.
Indeed, height advantage is something which is actually going to help you a lot in terms of, let's say, the gun game. And whenever it comes to a survival-based gameplay, or should I say a battle royale type of situation, every time the higher ridges are easily going to give you a lot of visibility, and you can easily pan out that way the people are trying to rotate from, and eventually provide some good space as well. So that definitely will help you a lot. But Miramar is one of those maps which is filled with the high ridges, so definitely people are actually trying to get the buggy and the pickup trucks on the mountains and eventually climb the hills so that they can actually have that higher ridge in their favor. But right now, in just 0 seconds, the zone is about to get compromised. The 3rd zone is about to be here. There we go. The 3rd zone in the southern, let's say, vicinity of Los Angeles is coming up. It is between Los Angeles, Tomasera, and Los Angeles. It's a deadly triangle being actually allocated, and the number of teams which are still surviving is actually definitely going to create a huge impact in the lobby. So let's see how that impact is going to get delivered. As you all can see, we have got even NB Esports in the dead center of the lobby. They're still deciding, they're still trying to rotate and eventually get a beautiful compound in the favor, from which they might be able to retaliate with every single fight which is about to happen, which is bound to happen, to be precise, because a lot of people are trying to rotate. Definitely some significant markers are going to be there.
Of course, if we talk about the time, well, 13 minutes is almost over, and Team DE, well, they are four men standing, and the split is quite big. If you see Raider, the players are splitting the difference between the players, the areas between the players. They're trying to capture more and more region, more and more area. So if the zone is hard and shift, they can travel the region very easily. But onto the other end, if we talk about Para, well, Team DE players, so four men standing finishes point, moving very slowly. Last match was very beautiful, was very good for the team. They've almost secured a top 3 position. But on to the another end, if we talk about Team AP, well, they have been spotted. See, will they take some more finishes point? And yeah, there you go. He's trying to get some more pick, but there you go. Phenomenal spray from Sketch. As you said, Raider, they'll not give any chance to any other player. And finally, Sketch is trying to get the finish point totally into his backpack.
Well, right now, guys, the finishes are coming up, and we are also coming up with a beautiful giveaway. But before that, let's talk about this particular fight. As you all can see, Team RTG is getting shattered. Adnan gets taken down. Apart from that, Hitman tries to retaliate. Hacker comes up with a blow, and just like that, this team was able to retaliate with Team Hashtag. Adi, the last man standing of the team, has been decimated. And would like to add on, like, let's say that we have a giveaway coming up, guys. At 500 likes, 10k UC giveaway is going to be there, and at 1000 likes, 10k UC is going to be there. At 15,000 likes, 1500 likes to be precise, 10k UC is going to be there. So total of 30,000 UC is already at stake in the PUBG Mobile region. If you are actually watching from, let's say, some different games, like let's say Game for Peace, or people are watching for, let's say, BGMI and stuff, which are the Indian audience, I don't think so you are going to get the giveaway in your favor, because UC is already coming up for PUBG Mobile. So stay tuned for that as well, guys. 500 likes, we are pretty much close to that. So make sure to actually go ahead, like the stream, and eventually, if you are actually touching the 500 marker, then the giveaway is going to be live on stream. Our moderators are going to help you out with that. We are at currently 289 likes, so I guess pretty close. 210 likes more to require, more to be needed, and after that, the giveaway is going to be live.
Of course, giveaway is gonna be live very soon after we complete the like target. But AJ, the last survivor, the Lone Ranger from Team SKYLIGHTZ, the last hope for this team, is still surviving, getting some more finishes point. But no, he can't get any more finishes point. But if we talk about Team High Voltage, they have disengaged the fight. Oh my goodness, what was that? That was totally phenomenal. Those eagle eye shots, I think that was really great to watch out. But and to the another end, Team IHC, well, they are taking some more finishes point. Assassin now being that solo player standing 4th zone string, it's going to be quite disturbing. It's going to be quite difficult for the teams to get inside the zone, because if you don't have vehicles, I think in Miramar you will suffer a lot for this reason. But onto the other end, Team D, well, performed beautifully in the last match, and the same consistency, the same progression is taken towards in this match also.
Well, yeah, Jedi guys is just trying to wreak havoc. 2 good points from the corner as well as coming up. But apart from that, as you can see, more and more sprays are going to get delivered. People are trying to actually attain some good points, and that's IHC, which are still hunting for more and more points. They're actually very hungry for the points, and their hunger for the points is never going to stop, because IHC is one of those teams which loves to go aggressive, which loves to attain some amazing points. But if we talk about A1 NB Esports, well, Sinister finally moves in. He's coming up very close to, I believe that's team ZAP. That can be very critical for Team A1 Esports as well. But there we go. Sinister tries to back out because his teammate is not there. He is roster is not there. His synergy is not there. So definitely, actually having a fight in that kind of region is going to be very troublesome, because the third parties might actually come in, and you have to have your teammates so that the revival is actually going to be there. Apart from that, in the death center, we have got Emulate Esports coming up, and they are actually residing very calmly. As you can see, they've got a massive compound in the favor, and from which they can easily retaliate. IHC tries to delegate the fight, tries to attain some good points, but they are failing to do so just because the enemy is having a huge amount of cover.
Well, Raider, if you see the zone, well, zone is totally shifted towards the western parts of the region, and what I can see, the eastern part is looking very critical, very chaotic for the time being. If the teams are rotating, they need to rotate from the eastern parts. Northern part and southern parts is almost blocked because there are watery regions. You can't travel from there. It's almost like impossible. If some team tries, I think the rotation will take a lot of time. So trying that, I don't think it's going to be worth it. But if we talk about the rotation could be done from those eastern part, and eastern parts are looking very chaotic, and western part is totally silent, and no teams are looking forward there, which is a little bit troubling for the other teams. But there you go, Team DRS, but Sochi having those down ground disadvantage, but after that also he has secured that finishes point. M416 in his hand, utilizing it quite nicely. And now the question is that the last player standing for Team DS, so will he able to take him down? Also, OG is moving forward. M416, he'll take that pick, confirm that pick, and finally it's again a 1v1. But Rats, I think he'll get that pick very easily.
Well, DRS rules OG comes up with another fight, and there we go. Just like that, he is going to put up a full stop. This is how DRS rules can be very chaotic, and just like that, the final pick for the fight is already being delivered. Right now, if we talk about Team Playbook Esports, we have got H2R in the scene. Demigod is there. Monboy is going to be there, and apart from that, we have got actually Ranked also in the scene. So let's see how they go to delegate the fight. In front of them, that is actually Team BTS, and they are actually receiving some good shots. As you all can see, people are getting decimated. This is the 4 zone which is about to get compromised really very soon. DRS with the highest amount of blinds. I believe the fight between DRS and Deadeye guys was pretty much like a revenge coming up, because in the last match you saw that Deadeye guys was able to do a beautiful 4v3 in their teams, and now DRS actually turned the dice, and just like that, they are showcasing that we are not one of those teams which are going to let it go that easily. We are here to create a huge amount of, let's say, significant dent in the lobby, and we are going to make it do so. Even if you are actually going to confront us, we are going to put you down, and that's how Team DRS is going to roll with them. But now 27 points already in the favor of Team DRS with the 5 eliminations points as well. They are actually looking very strong in the lobby. But if we talk about Team BTS Mafia trying to move in, Nigesh is there, and the other guys from Team BTS Army is also trying to move in. Let's see how they're going to actually do. But on the northern corner, we have Team DRS, and that's IHC trying to take up a fight. And there we go. One good member from Team DRS is already down to drain. IHC can be very chaotic when it comes to their fight.
Well, of course, they're looking very dangerous for the time being, having down at disadvantages. After that, they're also playing very nicely. But onto the other end, if we talk about MABETEX having those height advantages, I think they can totally secure those regions. They can totally take the advantages of this region. But let's see for how much more time will this smoke artificial cover will help both the teams. And this grenade, I think overcooked grenade could cause a self trouble to the teams as well. But if you see at those zones, southeastern parts almost there are 3 to 4 teams, northern part there are 2 teams, but center and western part that I think those regions are totally silent, totally vacant for the time being. And if any teams get rotated from those regions, I think later that could be more beautiful for the teams and more safer for the teams as well.
Definitely that could be the case coming up, but right now, as you all can see, even in Esports is actually in trouble, and Sinistra already has been taken down. That's a sad to watch from the fans of even Esports. Are not going to actually let it go that easily. Just like that, even Esports is about to be in drain, and there we go. Even in Esports been taken down at hashtag 9 with only 2 eliminations in their favor. That means only 3 points is getting accumulated. If we talk about Zap MELIORA, look at that. The performance coming up from the corner was absolutely mesmerizing, but now they have to actually face off the Indian army. Will they be able to retaliate with it? Nigesh gets connected quite a bit. Paito, let's say, shots have been delivered, and UMP45 is one of those guns which can be very chaotic in the close range, but Ida was unable to retaliate with the fights. If we talk about Endless, that guy also went out to the drain, and just like that, the team has been eliminated. They actually were able to eliminate, to be precise, if I talk about Zap MELIORA, the team was able to retaliate and eliminate one of the best teams of this particular lobby. That was Team A1NB Esports. But after that, just at that instance, BTS Army came in and did a beautiful 2v4 in their fronts.
Well, of course, they did a beautiful 2v4 in front, but on to the other end, if we talk about DRS, they're looking great in this match. Again, I think the chicken dinner which was missed at those last matches, I think they'll secure in this match. But Killer Whitey is killing the performance. He's justifying his name, he's justifying his team name. And if we talk about Lucifer, they are totally having those cemetery regions in their hand. They're having zone centers in their hand with those man advantages. I think they'll not allow any team to get inside the zone, not allow any team to get those regions around them. But if we talk about Team IHC, well, they are also having a decent position. They have secured 8 finishes point raider, if you see, and they are totally with those 4-man strong advantage. If you have man advantages in Miramar and zone advantage, I think that's all you need to get this match.
Apart from that, I believe the strategy is the right kind of, let's say, consensus is also going to be very vital for them to actually deliver the match in their favor. But now moving up ahead, if we talk about Team DRS, they are still lurking in the shadows at the northern corner. Well, of course, the only single compound which is going to be there in the compounds is in the zone, to be precise, is going to get in the favor of Team Emulate Esports if they actually try to go with it. But eventually, having a compound is always going to become an another perception for you. People are actually going to think that there might be enemy in the compound. And eventually, if you are in the compounds, that can be very chaotic. If we talk about Team IHC Esports, look at that, some beautiful space being destroyed, trying their level best to actually distort the aggression coming up. Let's see how they're going to deliver the fights to Playbook Esports, and is it a possibility where Playbook Esports might not survive from this particular fight? Yes, of course, the possibilities are there, because in front of them, that's IHC. Apart from that, BTS Army is already trying to decline some shots, already trying to deliver some good shots, and if I'm not wrong, Emulate Esports is also trying to deliver some good shots as well. So a lot of fights are coming up. It's basically a third party, it's basically a fourth party coming up. Obviously, a lot of trouble is going to be there. Now it's all about the right gun sense, it's all about the right support from the teammates, and it's all about the survival.
Of course, it's all about the survival. PUBG is a survival game, but let's see how the team coordinate, how the team communicate with each other. Because at those end zone, teams gets a lot of panic, a lot of troubling situation, which cause early elimination at those end zone. But there you go. It's also OG with that phenomenal pick, with that phenomenal opening knock. He's creating some more smoke paths. He's creating some more paths on those paths. But finally, if AP players has been spotted, I think team ODRS will able to take that pick. But team IHC, well, with that EMP45 is taken down one more player, moving towards another player, and ANGKOR PUBG Pride. Well, finally he has been eliminated. 6 teams of 15 players. Team DRS has been spotted, crossing the lane, crossing the path with those artificial cover. And let's see, will team IHC able to take those finishes point in the backpack? 9 finishes point in the and still team PLAYBOOK Esports having the symmetry. I think this match is going to be quite challenging for each and every team. Team DRS is looking in trouble right now, having those ridges cover for a while. Well, zone will shrink in just 40 seconds. You have 40 seconds in hand, but there you go. Team PLAYBOOK Esports, Demigod well finally has been taken down, and Demigod finally is on that god mode.
Well, indeed, the fights are coming up and they are looking a bit more troublesome coming up. DRS Kilowati has been taken down. Team IHC is trying to wreak some havoc, and as you can see, IHC is actually getting the favor returned because these are the guys which are still getting connected. BTS Mafia to be precise, gets taken down. If I talk about IHC, Demo and the other guy wants that revival. They want to actually survive. They are actually trying their level best to survive a bit more. Cordes on the other corner is also trying to reside. Alex is way too close to team PLAYBOOK Esports. But apart from that, there we go. S2R with some sneaky bullets managed to put one down from Team Emulated Official. And to be honest, that was the last one standing from Team Emulated Official. And just like that, Emulated Official, the whole survival of that particular team is already down the drain. If we talk about Team DRS, they are holding a very beautiful circle in their favor. And I believe they can easily actually retaliate with the fights. If we talk about Team PLAYBOOK Esports, now they are in a troublesome fight with Team IHC. Let's see how IHC will be able to retaliate and put up a fight and maybe just gain the points in their favor. IHC GODL gets taken down. Alex is way too close, and there we go. Alex pops out, wants to take a beautiful 1v1, but the results are pretty much clear that IHC won't be surrendering anytime soon. The fights are looking a bit more chaotic, and now the last one standing from Team PLAYBOOK Esports might not survive for a few more seconds, and I believe the team is about to go down to game really very soon. And there we go. The last shot comes in just like that. IHC with 14 amazing eliminations, close to, let's say, getting the 15th one as well, because Yante being the last one standing is also getting obstructed quite a bit. As you can see, ANGKOR PUBG getting eliminated quite a soon one. Now IHC and DRS, the two good teams, are still surviving, and there we go. DRS gets taken down. IHC with 15 amazing eliminations is going to be the team with a beautiful winner chicken dinner in the back.
Well, if we see Raider, the most important thing, Team DRS again getting that second position. In the first match itself, if we talk about Erangel, well, Team D Esports have secured first position and Team DRS second position. Same things happens in the second match also. Team DRS Esports have secured the second position again due to that man disadvantage, because in the first match the same thing happened. They secured top 5 position with 4 men strong advantage, and slowly they were detaining their players, and the same thing happened in the second match also. They were having 4 to 3 men strong advantage, and slowly they detained their players because of because of those zone disadvantages and crossing the lane, crossing the path with those artificial smoke cover. I think that caused the team a lot of trouble and elimination again at those second position in the match.
Well, definitely when it comes to the map of Miramar, these are the few things which are bound to happen. The rotation clashes, the, let's say, drop clashes to be precise, and after all, if we talk about the third parties, that is something which is inevitable in the particular circle, and that's what actually happened in this particular matchup. People try to actually attain some good points, but eventually they fail to do so. And right now, moving up ahead, guys, why are you not liking the stream? Because eventually we told you that the live goal is going to be close to 500 to be precise, and if you are able to hit it up, eventually 10,000 UC is going to get unlocked for you as a giveaway. Right now, the winner chicken dinner plaque is already here in our screens, and the team which is smiling with their faces and eventually having that beautiful winner chicken in the second one of the grand finale is going to be Team IHC Esports. And we already have actually told you that this team can be very chaotic. Demo is the one who is going to be MVP with 8 amazing eliminations with 968 damage, and the total contribution for the team is going to be 53.33%. That is absolutely mesmerizing. 50% of the job for the team has been done by Demo, which is absolutely mesmerizing. But would like to add on one more thing, that right now 2 matches have been passed, and in these 2 matches, the only 2 teams which are able to get the winner chicken dinner were the one which have been invited in the grand finale. I'm actually unable to see teams getting qualified from the semi-finale, trying to delegate and trying to actually have some beautiful points in their favor, and that is something I would like to actually see. I would love to see, to be precise, they are going to perform and stuff like that.
Well, it's gonna be quite difficult for the upcoming teams, how will they perform, how they'll play. But if we talk about the highlights, the match started from Team STALWART Esports. Well, they are not looking very great in this tournament in the first day as well, because first match was not good. Teams are waiting for their comeback. Action was the last player standing, was trying his level best, but no, the four-man's push, it was almost like impossible to defend it out. But on to the other end, if we talk about Team HASTAG, they have won this fight. They have won the drop clash fight, but after the second drop clash fight, the drop rotations, the clash rotations were very difficult for the Team HASTAG, and eventually they lost their players one by one, and detaining the players one by one. But almost they have secured the 4 to 5 finishers point. The average finishers point target has been secured by Team HASTAG.
Yeah, definitely. I guess the point system was absolutely amazing. The retaliation was also very amazing. High voltage assassin received a beautiful lead on his face. Just like that, he went out of the equation. If I talk about Praveen, he also retaliated with the beautiful DPS coming up. Praveen gets knocked out with a nade. And after that, Jiggle was the guy who was able to retaliate and just like that put down the particular team. If I talk about team Hitman as well, I believe HASTAG to be precise, that's what the team name was. They were also able to retaliate and eventually gain a beautiful point in their favor. After that, if I talk about team High Voltage, they tried to rotate. Malik and Praveen was taken down at that swift moment. If I talk about Jiggle, look at that beautiful pinpoint headshot that he actually attained and just like that destroyed SKYLIGHTZ Gaming's hope of eventually surviving in the game. And after that, if I talk about Jiggle, the zone damage was absolutely mesmerizing. If I talk about Assassin, his vehicle went into the flame by IHC's Godless's corner. Just like that, the damage was done and dusted. And this was the avenging fight. This was the moment where actually I thought that Avengers Assemble is going to be the call out, because the way DRS actually performed on the ends of DRS, on the ends of, let's say, Deadeye was absolutely mesmerizing. The point system actually was something everybody wants to actually focus on, and the way DRS dealt out with that fight was absolutely quite courageous, to be precise.
Eventually, I'm very, very, very impressed, very, very surprised with DRS performance. Back to back, getting those second position in the back to back 2 matches, which teams were waiting for. But teams are also waiting for some more teams. So Team A1, Team STALWART Esports as well. But there you go, PLAYBOOK Esports. This fight was not in their favor. They lost this fight. And if we talk about Team IHC, this was the game changing point. This was the game changing area, because if PLAYBOOK Esports would win this area, would win this fight, they could got this area. They could get those winner chicken in their backpack. But they lost this fight, and finally they also lost that winner chicken dinner also. But if we talk about overall the statistics of a day 1 match, to total 67 eliminations were done. Is total 165 throwables were used. Rescues, 13 rescues were done. And if we talk about healing, well, 7572 healings were done, which is very low from the past match.
Yeah, definitely. I guess this is the map of Miramar where you don't actually get the right kind of opportunity to actually deal with the particular fights, and that's what I believe happened in the lobby. But right now, if we talk about the match summary, as you all can see, the highest amount of eliminations coming up is actually going to be from the favors of IHC Demo. If we talk about the highest damage, well, that's again IHC Demo. If we talk about the highest assists, that's going to be IHC's Godless with the 4 assists to be precise. And if we talk about the highest amounts of knocks, that's again going to be IHC's Demo. And DRS Gyante was the only guy which actually tried to disrupt the reign of terror of IHC in the MVP rankings. And this is the guy with the longest elimination in his favor.
Well, Raider, I have cracked one thing, that if you want to be in the match summary list, you just need to get that MVP. As we can see in the last match, the MVP player was in the match summary, and the team player's name was also in the match summary. And in this match also, Team IHC Demo, well, he's the MVP of the match, and in the match summary, his player's name, his team's names are totally there. But if we talk about the total match ranking, well, Team IHC 15 place point, 15 elimination point, and overall 30 points have been secured by this team. Team DRS Gaming, key to consistency, key to winning the tournament. DRS Gaming 9 elimination, 12 place point, total 21 points. ANGKOR PUBG 15, PLAYBOOK Esports 15, BTS Mafia 5th position, 10 points. High Voltage 8 total points. I was expecting a bit more from Team High Voltage.
I mean, definitely, I guess High Voltage could have actually maintained a beautiful synergy in their favor and eventually attained some good points. But despite of that, DRS Gaming, the way they retaliated, 21 amazing points is putting them at a safest position. And if I talk about teams like Deadeye guys, the way they actually got a beautiful chicken dinner in the first one, right now their consistency is at a questionable mark. And if I talk about DRS Gaming, I believe that is the team which actually went out in the first one as well as in the second one at the second position. But they still have actually few good amounts of points in their favor, and they're pretty close to actually have the 50-point marker in their favor. And I believe after that, the overall standing is going to showcase us that DRS will be on top, if I'm not wrong.
Of course, so before that, we'll go to move towards the elimination and damage stats. And Team IHC will totally dominating in this stats as well. 15 finishes point, 2965 damage is given. And so second position, if we talk, Team DRS second position, 9 finishes point and 1917 damage is given by this team as well.
Indeed, a beautiful damage done and dusted. This is what actually showcases us that how the eliminations were actually constituted and how the fights were actually went out quite swiftly. But moving up ahead, if I talk about teams like ELEMENTRIX, UGK, STALWART Esports, they were unable to actually have some good points in their favor. But as you all can see, MVP ranking to be precise is coming up in our faces. And right now, if I talk about Dante, that is the guy who is still on the top with a damage of 1271, which is absolutely mesmerizing. If we talk about Delta, he is also coming up with some good points. 7 eliminations to be precise, and these two good members are from Team DRS. That means the top two from the MVP rankings are still reigning in terror with Team DRS.
Well, of course, if we talk about Demo, well, only one match, he has secured 8 finishes point in a single match. Damage is a little bit low, but he can totally cover up in the upcoming matches as well. And if we talk about Team DRS players, almost 3 players are in the list of MVP ranking. If we talk about Team IHC, Godless at those 6th position with those 4 elimination points. Stalwart Esports, Action with those 5 finishes point. Team High Voltage, it's Prabin with those 4 finishes point. And if we talk about Playbook Esports, well, 3 finishes point, 9th position, and those 10th position, it's IHC IC with those 2 finishes point and 936 damage. Can you believe only 2 finishes point and 936 damage? This is what we called a support to your team.
But definitely, you have to support your team, and eventually, 4-man power is something which is going to be quite viable, quite crucial for these people to actually go with. And eventually, in the MVP ranking, we got an insight of how these people are actually trying to perform. And eventually, I guess the performance is going to just double down in the map of Sanhok, which is going to be the next one. But before that, let's talk about the team head-to-head coming up. That's going to be between Team DRS and Team IHC Esports at this moment. DRS, as you all can see, the ranking is going to be #1 in the overall standing, and for IHC Esports, the ranking is going to be #2. Eliminations coming up from DRS's corner is 23. Winner chicken dinner for IHC is actually 1, and Team DRS fails to get a single winner chicken dinner right now. But the average damage coming from DRS's corner is still looking very amazing with 975 points in their favor. The average survival time is also very good for Team DRS. Headshots is pretty much same for them, and utilities being used is also a little bit more on the higher end for Team DRS. And the total points are 47 for DRS and 32 for IHC Esports.
Well, of course, the head-to-head performance is totally phenomenal to watch out. If we talk about utilities used, 77 utilities were used by Team IHC and 44 by the another team. But if we talk about overall ranking between match 1 and match 2, 47 overall points has been secured by Team DRS just because of the consistency. And you can see the lead. It's almost 15-point lead between Team DRS and Team IHC. And after that, you can see the intense competition, the neck-to-neck competition, 32, 31, 27 between IHC, DEADEYES, ANGKOR, PUBG, and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming in the top 5 list.
Well, definitely, I guess the top 5 is looking very strong, and people are actually trying to gain some good points in their favor as well. Would like to actually see that what the second page is showcasing us, the slightly vulnerable page to be precise. God like Stalwart is starting it off with only 8 points. Remember, guys, in the first one, they were residing at #4. And right now, currently, if I talk about their standing, it's not looking that great at #10 they are residing. Zap MELIORA, that team has actually got 7 points in their favor with #11th position. Underground KINGZ is just going down to train with 6 points, and Core PUBG Pride is another beautiful team which is still just, let's say, slightly rising in the leaderboard. Apart from that, ELEMENTRIX, RTG Esports, and MABETEX as well, they are getting diminished, they are getting on the back foot. And if we talk about #Esports, after 2 good matches, 4 points is there in their favor, and the green arrow showcases that they are still trying to wreak havoc. Even in B Esports, I guess that is the team which is not looking very great. I believe Sinister and the other guys from Team Even Esports can easily turn the tides in just 2 more matches which are left. But Sanhok is going to be the map where the table turn-up situation is going to be there for sure.
Well, of course, Sanhok is a table turning match always, but one better match, one good match with those 25 to 30 points can always change the moment. But the upcoming matches, Sanhok and Erangel, 2 matches are still left. But I'll request my audience to please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream, because your support is very much required for the upcoming event and upcoming matches. But what do you think, Raider? Which team will dominate in the Sanhok match? Which team will be there to throw a comeback in the upcoming matches?
Well, see, to be precise, Sanhok is a map where the things can actually be a bit more shaky. But before that, let's talk about the head-to-head between 2 good members. And both of them are going to perform DRS. One is Gyante, one is going to be Delta. Eliminations are pretty much same. Damage coming up from Gyante's corner is slightly on the higher end. I believe close to 200 points is there which is actually slightly higher for Gante's corner. If we talk about the assist, well, Delta is actually being a supporter as well. Apart from that, if we talk about throwables, well, throwables is slightly on the, let's say, equalizing end. Every survival time is also looking much more great for Gante. That means Team TRS Gante is one of those guys which wants to survive a bit more, but fails to actually support the team. And I believe that support which has been lacking from Gante's corner is getting fulfilled from Delta's corner.
Of course, so there should be a combination, there should be a communication between both the players of the teams, and this is what we need in search of. But after this, almost the second match is ended, and we would like to end the second match. But before that, I would like to say my audience, please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream as well. Your support is very much required for the upcoming events and upcoming matches. But I'll ask you, Raider. What do you think? Will Stalwart Esports or will Team A1 will able to come back in the Sanhok match, or it will be again a bad match for the team?
Well, see, Sanhok is a close quarters type of map to be precise. So definitely, I would like to add on that teams like even Esports, God like Salvert or IHC, these are few, let's say, aggressive teams which can easily come back, bounce back. Because in the map of Sanhok, you have to actually have some good reflexes in your cover. So definitely, reflexes are something I believe IHC, even Esports. Apart from that, God like Salvert are pretty much prone with. But right now, guys, we are going to take a short break, and eventually, we are going to bring back the map of Sanhok, which can be full of very very amazing sneaks to be precise, and an element of surprise is going to be there in the particular match as well. So yeah, guys, going to take a short break, and we'll be back in just, let's say, 5 to 6 minutes. Welcome back once again, guys. We are back with another beautiful bang coming up, and this is going to be the map of Sanhok once again, getting started from the south western corner to be precise, and the paint path is actually dunking in the northeastern corner. Once
Yeah.
again, my name is Jader, and along with me is going to be Eagle, Mike, amazing co-caster, coming up on the desk, and we have got the teams dunking in.
Well, of course, if we talk about the fly path, it's going to be quite decent and a quite different fly path. I don't think in Sanhok fly paths also matters because it's a very short map. It's a very mini map. If we talk about, and teams can go anywhere, everywhere in this map by feathering each other, by gliding each other. But boot camp is the region, as well as Painan and Tatamok, Camp Alpha, Camp Bravo. These are the particular region which are really very to seen to watch out, very keen to watch out. How many teams will go there? How many drop clashes we will able to see? But before that, guys, before we start the fights, please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and share the stream. As I can see, Painan is a major drop location right now, where we can see almost 4 to 5 teams, and even at those Tatamok and Camp Alpha region as well.
Well, indeed, the fights are going to be there in the Painan region. As you can see, in the Painan region, the clashes are actually coming up, and eventually the fights can be very mesmerizing in that region. In the center, dead center region, to be precise, I believe there is a team ANGKOR PUBG coming up in that Paradise Resort region. So definitely, I don't think so there is going to be a clash for them anytime soon. But apart from that, if I talk about the corners of Painan, well, there we go. We have a confrontation coming up in Hathin region as well. We have a confrontation coming up. People are trying to be in a tug of war. These early eliminations can be very chaotic. Let's see how the eliminations goes on. And there we go. One good member from Team MABETEX. That's going to be Leo once again getting picked up. DE Charlie sir from Team PLAYBOOK Esports is also getting taken down. That means Team Deadeyes is also getting decimated. But there we go. S6 Metro with R1895 managed to put one down. That's interesting. The kind of consistency, the kind of backlash coming up from the corner is absolutely mesmerizing. Demigod, one of those amazing guys with a lower amount of HP, is trying to be on the back foot. Let's see how he's going to retaliate. Even Esports once again tries to pop out. As you can see, the fights are still coming. The people are trying to perform. Para from Team Deadeyes also tries to move in, waits for the right moment, and DBS shots are still not getting connected. As you can see, Para, to be precise, if I talk about PPE H2R, this guy can be very chaotic. DBS is the gun that he's actually using, but from the front end, Para is also coming up with the same gun. PE Jokasa gets taken down. Mutton, I guess, is also going to be down to dust. That means Team PLAYBOOK Esports is also residing in the back foot.
You see the scenario. I don't think the scenario is very good, very well settled in the Painan. It's going to be quite disturbing. But if we talk about PLAYBOOK Esports, they are looking very forward for the fight. And now it's against DBS versus DBS. Let's see. Will H2R Grenade will make a connection. And finally, I think the opponent has gained the position, gained the sound sensor, and observed that the grenade could come. But onto the other end, if I get in the other player's position, well, there you go. Lucy, well, finally has taken that one more pick. Demigod, well, he has been taken down. S2R is still trying his level best to get some more connection, but there you go. Finally, he's coming with that 1v1, and DBS versus DBS. Will he able to take him down? And there you go. The wait is over. The time is over. Finally, the game of rat and cat, the game of chasing, has been ended. Demigod onto the other end has been taken down. If we talk about Monboy, the last player standing, I think he could be also be eliminated. And S2R, well, finally is going for that revival. It's Ranked and H2R are the last two players standing for the team. And onto the other end, if you see Team Deadeye, well, they are also looking in a very big trouble. Nightwing, solo player standing for his team, having a great combination of Vector and Scar in his hand. Will he able to clutch it down? Will he able to take Team MAB players down, or he'll get those revival of Sinister right now?
Well, indeed, revival is something which is going to be quite crucial, and there we go. Nightwing actually comes up with the revival, so definitely when Sinister is back in the game, he can be very chaotic. He can be one of those players who can actually turn down the tides. But there we go. The beautiful jump shot comes in just like that. The retaliation pan is mesmerizing. The people are trying to mitigate the fights. Team Deadeye, guys, is looking very strong right now, but still being shattered at the back foot is also going to be the goal for them. Now, if we talk about Charisal, he is also trying his level best to retaliate, tries to delegate, tries to actually take some good points in his favor. But there we go. One more people. That's going to be Joker Sir has been taken down now. Mutton and Para is actually going to be the two members which are still surviving. Well, there we go. Para goes in for the DB shot, fails to connect it. Mutton being the last one standing, goes in for the band-aids, but fails to connect. So, and there we go. A beautiful 1v4 coming from Ranked's corner. And just like that, the game is looking a bit more stable. If I talk about even Esports, let's see what more they can do, because MABETEX is already pushing forward. The needs are coming up. The damage is going to be significant. If I talk about Wally, well, he is there. Apex is there. Baron is there. Leo was taken down. But the guns that these guys are trying to use is absolutely mesmerizing. I don't think so it's going to be an easy task for even Esports Sinister to actually decide and survive, to be precise. But let's see how his survival is going to get impacted. Baron on the other corner cooks up a beautiful nade once again. Let's see his nade is going to get connected or not. But there we go. Apex finds the opening. This can be chaotic. This can be very troublesome. The opening is coming up. The shots are being exchanged, as you all can see. Walu gets taken down. Apex on the other corner managed to deliver the fights. Team MABETEX is actually coming up with some good blows of their own. And just like that, even in Esports, once again in the third match for the day, it gets diminished, gets shattered, gets taken down. On the other corner, Zap MELIORA also comes with the fights of ANGKOR PUBG.
Meanwhile, it's not a good start for some teams, but at the other end, team IC has taken down Ash. Finally, he'll take also the elimination as well. And team APG, well, they are also back in action. There's a fight between team IHC and team AP. And let's see how those fight move forward. But for now, if we talk about APG, well, they have 4 men standing. 2 finishes point have been secured. Team IHC, they have lost 2 players, Demo and GODL, and last 2 players are standing. 15 teams, 49 alive players, so 6 to 7 minutes are almost over. But the region, the division of land, the division of river, Painan is still awaited. The fight is still waiting down, and let's see, will team UG able to take the players down? Will team UG able to take the players down of MAB? This is also the question. But behind them, team DRS, as we can see in the mini map, as well as we can see in the map in the region as well, team DRS is slowly coming very forward, very close to other teams as well. Obviously we can see third parties and fourth parties, because as we can see third parties and fourth parties in Miramar. So Sanhok is a very small map. Teams are very close to each other. The breathing space is very low, and because of that, we can see a number of third parties and fourth parties. But for now, time being, team maybe Volley. Well, he's coming with that grenade. Will that grenade make any correction? No, off-targeted grenade. But there you go. Volley has been spotted. He'll be taken down. The last 2 players, Boron and Apex, are surviving. Team UJ is looking very aggressively, very progressive right now, and it's a very difficult task for team MAB. Will they able to survive? This is also a question.
Definitely, survival is something which is going to be quite crucial to watch out. But there we go. MABETEX comes up with another beautiful need. Baron might be able to retaliate with the need, but eventually the amount of damage coming up is absolutely mesmerizing. And Apex gets down. UGK tries to retaliate, and eventually they are actually trying their level best to gain the points. Baron on the corner, being the last one standing, he wants to actually survive, but his survival is actually going to be quite questionable. And there we go. The shots are being delivered. Baron goes in, punching in the air, tries to actually be in the cover, but Baron gets spotted. Definitely won't be an easy one for him to survive. And there we go. The retaliation is still very strong. The revival comes in, but a beautiful molly or nade, I believe. What was that? Okay, that was few with the micro Uzi coming up on his corner, and just like that managed to put down MABETEX as well. Both of the teams, like let's say even Esports and MABETEX, have been decimated. Now it's a battle between team UGK, should I say, Underground KINGZ, and team DRS. Let's see how they're going to perform. Let's see how they're going to build the statistics and eventually gain the points in their favor.
Almost 8 to 9 minutes is over, and team DRS is looking aggressively, looking very confident because of the past 2 matches. They have performed really very well. But now the question is that will they able to take down team UJ, because team UJ is also performing very nicely in this match. And you can see the trap spread by team DRS. 2 players are at those northern region, some few players are 1 place is at those western, and 1 place is at those southern region, and which will cause them a lot of trouble if the split is not that well communicated, not that well spread. But Delta X, well, he has almost taken a hard scope at a window at a door, and well, let's see. Well, team UG will come forward, and there you go. He doesn't want that revival to take place. But until the other end, 14 teams, 46 players are still surviving. 8 to 9 minutes are almost over, and within 58 seconds we'll get to see another zone shrink. And in Sanhok, we don't get a lot of vehicle radar, and we need to travel the zone with our bare foot.
Yeah, indeed. We don't want actually any kind of vehicle, because if vehicles can easily create a sound system, and that can easily alert the enemy as well. So definitely not having the vehicle is actually going to be an advantage in the map of Sanhok. You have to be one sneaky guy to actually survive in this particular map, and I believe being sneaky is something which is going to be the end game for them. DRS tries to perform. They are pretty much actually outside the first play zone. They have to travel close to 350 meters to just be in the zone. Apart from that, there we go. Team APG's Joseph Rowe managed to put one down with a beautiful nade, and that's going to be Alex on the receiving net. He has been taken down. Remember, guys, this is the second last match for the day, and we are still getting very close to the 500 likes. We have actually attained 500 likes or not? Okay, we don't have the 500 likes coming up. 481 likes is the only amount that we have actually attained. So make sure to go ahead and like the stream. Joseph Rowe gets taken down with a beautiful nade. If I talk about IC being the last one standing from Team IC, definitely a troublesome fight coming up. He wants to fall back, but no, the fallback won't be possible. Gets spotted, and just like that, IC Esports gets eliminated at hashtag 14. That means only 3 points for them, and that too from the eliminations that they have attained.
Well, of course, the elimination was very beautiful to watch out, but at those another end, if we look at the zone, well, it's going to be quite disturbing for the team because 30 to 40% of the zone is looking in water. But there you go, Killer Whitey with that grenade. He'll take down Backo down. Team DRS is looking very aggressively forward. Will they able to take down Team UG completely? This is the question. Surviving DBS with the 14 bullets automatically in his hand. Let's see what will Deltax able to do onto the end. A few, well, KFU is still waiting. Lucy have been taken down. Killer Whitey onto the end has been taken down. Well, Delta X, a bigger responsibility onto his shoulder. Let's see, will the team DRS will able to completely eliminate Team UG? This is the very important question because both of the teams are very aggressive. The one who survives here, I think they'll come very close to chicken dinner because if we talk about the competition is very less. The competition will become very less in this match. And Delta X, well, he's trying his level best. There you go, he's taken down the last two players. Orange now surviving. It's Crane surviving for the team. DBS in his hand. He's tried his level best. Well, Delta X will take that final blow. And Team DRS again proving them in different map with the same team, proving their concitement, proving their capability, their potential very nicely, very fluently with those 5 finishes points. They've secured top 12 teams position and almost on top 39 alive players, but still they have to carry towards them towards the zone also. 1029 meters if you see radar and you don't get any vehicles in Sanhok. This is also a reason to worry.
Well, definitely the approach could be like this one, where actually one good member from Team TRS can actually reside from the particular play zone and he can be outside the play zone so that he can actually do the heal battle. The rest remaining 3 people can easily go in and perform exceptionally well by actually taking down some good fights. So that can be the
Yeah.
goal. But let's see how they're going to perform. Let's see how they're going to pull up the points in their favor. Right now, if we talk about Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, well, they are coming up in the Paradise Resort region. They are being very dominant. Even if a team is actually close to them, they are not actually trying to delegate the fights. ELEMENTRIX is going to be the one team which is coming up a little bit close to the team. 1 minute and 40 seconds are more to go. After that, the zone will shrink in.
Of course, if we talk about Paradise Resort, it's the name is a resort, but the performance of the team is looking very brutal in this region, particularly. But if we talk about other teams, so Team APG, well, for the time being, they are 4 men standing with those 3 finishes point. Team ELEMENTRIX, as we expect, they could perform more better as compared to the last matches. For now, they are 4 men standing, no finishes point in their hand. Secure top 12 teams position and top 39 alive players. The most important thing, there could be a there could be a rotation clash with Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. As we can see, they are very close to them. And there you go, we were talking about vehicles. And finally, Team ELEMENTRIX is coming with those bikes, with those motorcycles. And let's see what will the difference cause. And high voltage, well, they are also traveling with those cycles, and high voltage have lost one player, Jiggle, without any finishes point in the backpack. This is surprisingly very different to watch out because this team is very aggressive. They like to take revenge, they like to participate, they like to compete, but losing one player without any finish point is very surprising and very different.
I mean, definitely this loss is going to, let's say, create a lot of ruckus in the lobby. So let's see how they're going to perform, how they're going to actually build the fights.
Yeah.
Moving upward, as you all can see, DRS is still surviving with the 4 man power. Let's see how they're going to also contemplate the fight. High voltage is still remaining on the back foot. With the 3 man power, they are also trying to just create a lot of ruckus in the lobby.
Of course, so for the time being, if you see the time, almost the 13 to 14 minutes are ended. You have 10 seconds to go for another zone shrink, and as we can see on the screen, the timer gets started, the countdown gets started, and Team High Voltage, for now 3 men standing, they're still waiting for those gatekeeping scenarios. They're waiting for the enemies to get some more finishes point in the backpack. And if we talk about another zone, third zone formation, well, it's totally towards those northern parts of the region. Almost 4 to 5 teams, almost 50% teams are inside the zone and 50% teams are outside the zone. Almost it's a balanced scenario, but I don't think any teams can create those gatekeeping scenarios. But backstabs, I think that's always an opportunity, that's always a option left out.
Yeah, of course, backstabs are going to be a possibility coming up. So indeed, this is the map of Sanhok. We all know that can be very chaotic, and the way teams actually try to perform is absolutely mesmerizing. The people who are unable to perform in the first few matches, I thought that Sanhok is a table turner map. Definitely, their performance might actually come in, but teams like even Esports going down to train, MABETEX going down to train, even Team DEADEYES guys receiving that kind of, let's say, showdown. I was actually shocked that how these
Oh.
teams are actually getting decimated. IHC is down to drain. DEADEYES is out of equation. MABETEX is out of equation. Even Esports is out of equation. Well, if I talk about Team Underground Kings, fortunately that team was able to be consistent in the first few matches as well. So I don't think so that their performance, or should I say their elimination, is going to create that significant marker on them. But if I talk about teams like, let's say, Hashtag or the other teams, they are trying to move in, they're trying to actually attain that kind of significant marker in the lobby, and the shots are being delivered from Hashtag's corner. One good guy from Team APG has been taken down, has been actually converted as a low HP guy, but still definitely not enough to put him down to drain.
Well, if we see at those time marker, it's almost more than 50%, and you guys need to be very ready for those fights because after the end of 18 to 19 minutes, the teams will come very closer, the zone will shrink, the areas will be very less, the breathing space will decrease, and this will lead to a lot of fights, a lot of clusters again. So you need to be ready with your defense system. I'm sorry, you need to be ready with your defense system, you need to be ready with your throwables, your grenades, your artificial covers. In Sanhok, we get very less smoke, so you should utilize your utilities very efficiently because it can cause you a lot of trouble and it can help you a lot of times. But on to the other end, if we talk about Team APG, well, that totally split into a quadrilateral compound with one players in each houses, and they are trying to defend their area, they are trying to defend the center of the region. And almost if we look at each and every team, they are playing with that same intention, capitalizing the areas, capitalizing the compounds. They are not ready to give the compound to any other team, which is a very consignment thinking, which is a very aggressive thinking, and I'm very chaotic, I'm very eagerly waiting to see that in the upcoming times what will the team perform, how will they perform, will the zone formation come in those compound areas or on those open green bushes areas.
Yeah, meanwhile, if I talk about Mafia Ninja coming from SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, hailing from this particular team, this guy is absolutely amazing. The way he performs is absolutely something people have to actually watch out for. The gun that he's actually using is going to be Thompson along with an M416. Thompson has got the extended mag, and I believe suppressor is the only thing that might have been actually missing from this particular gun. And if we talk about AJ, well, he has got the dual M416, or is it UMP whatever? Yeah, UMP whatever and M416 is the gun combination that these two guys are trying to go with. If we talk about Team High Voltage, Prabhan is there from this particular team. He's one of those amazing guy who can easily pop out a good nade and eventually deliver some good showdowns as well. Third zone is about to go down, as well can see. Third zone is shrinking very rapidly. After that, the fourth zone marker will be delivered. Fifth zone marker is going to be there. 58 seconds more to go. After that, this zone will punch in. As you all can see in the death center area, I believe Team APG, or should I say ANGKOR PUBG, is going to be there. High Voltage is also being very scattered. Malik is in the cow region. If we talk about Praveen, he's actually in a compound. And if I talk about Assassin, I believe he is actually holding a beautiful watchtower. So definitely other teams which are coming from the outside particular zone have to actually create an opening so that they can actually reside.
Of course, if you see at the position of the team, Team High Voltage is looking in a very great position, but Team DRS, well, nobody can stop this team because they are unstoppable, playing unphenomenally because they're approaching back-to-back fights, they're approaching back-to-back teams, they're totally playing aggressively, and now it's they're targeting another team, a four-man standing. They have targeted, if I'm not wrong, it's a team RPG and the team DRS is four-man standing with those 5 finishes point. Rose is trying to get those elimination. This was early finishes point, but there you go. He has been taken down. Delta X holding those responsibility in his hand, completing the responsibility for the team with a promising performance. 9 total finishes point team DRS has secured in this match, and still they are surviving with those 4 players advantage. But on to the other end, team SKYLIGHTZ, well, they are also looking popping forward in the kill feed, and Team SKYLIGHTZ only and only 1 finish point, which is a very slow and steady start. But still, there are a lot of number of teams, a lot of number of players surviving this lobby. 11 teams, 32 players, almost 19 minutes is over, and still you need to travel a bit more time, almost 7 to 8 minutes, and you can surely get some more finishes point in this match, Reader.
Well, indeed, if you want to hunt for the points, you have to actually calibrate the fights as well. You have to actually concise that the enemy is also going to be way too chaotic. Everybody wants to survive in this particular matchup. APG's that guy is actually going to create a beautiful lead, and I believe Nero might not actually survive with that kind of, let's say, aggression coming up. And there we go. Nero gets a lot of damage in his favor. A lot of damage is actually here in this, let's say, precisely momentum coming up. If we talk about Nagesh Pro, that guy is still trying to delegate, still that guy is still trying to actually retaliate with the fights as well. You can see once again the retaliation fire is coming up. People are trying to pop out, somebody is actually getting drowned up. So obviously people were in the water body as well, I believe. DRS Delta on the other corner managed to put some good shots on Hashtag as well. Sam69 being taken down. BTS Mafia, Rocky is the guy who's actually getting drowned in the water.
Well, APP, well, finally they have been eliminated from the lobby. And if we talk about Team High Voltage, losing one player, still going with that same intention, still going with that same approach, I think proves the intention of the team. They are still going with that same aggressive approach. And on to the other end, Team Hashtag. Well, this team is totally justifying the name very nicely. This match is not favoring this team for now time being, but they can still come back. These two players, the deadly duo, can prove their name, can prove their worth in this game and the team as well, because one finish point in front of them, it's Team DRS, the attacking team, the winning team in the lobby right now. And if you eliminate those teams, I think it will be a confidence booster for your team and for your players as well. But if we talk about the zone, almost it's like a northeastern shift, north central shift of the zone. Maximum teams can easily capitalize the zone. But onto the another end, if we talk about Team High Voltage, well, Pravin is coming with that grenade. Will that grenade make any connection? The bushes, the stones are supporting the enemies, but let's see how much time will it take for Pravin to take him down. Oh my god, finally Team High Voltage is looking really in a very big trouble. Assassin and Malik are the last two players standing. Finally, they have secured one finish point. And what do you think, Raider? Will they able to take some more finishes point in this match, or the elimination will be soon confronted by this team?
I believe the team, the way they were scattered, I guess definitely that is something which was quite worried, which made me quite worried for them, to be precise, because being scattered in the map of Sanhok is not something will actually help you a lot. But right now, guys, one thing I would like to add on that we have reached the like target of 500 likes, so definitely 10,000 UCs are actually live. 10,000 UC giveaway is actually going to be pretty much precisely live. But right now, our moderators are actually going to go ahead and eventually pick some names, and then I'm going to announce the names so that you can actually go ahead and attain the UCs. And apart from that, if we talk about Team PLAYBOOK Esports, Zap Meloria, Nero is going to be the last one standing. He is actually being spotted, but still damage was not enough. Rank 8 gets exposed as well. He has to actually reach out to the play zone as well. Demigod being the guy with the 39 band-aids to be precise in his favor, and 4 first kid wants to go with the heal battle.
I think he has taken a wrong decision. There should be 39 first aids, but he has taken 39 bandages. I don't think it will make a lot of worth being doing that heal battle. But onto the another end, if we talk about Ranked, well, Ranked is still moving inside the zone, taking the advantages of those bushes, that bushy regions, and this match is all about those bushes, those stones, and all about those snakes. And finally, he has been spotted and he's been eliminated by Eat Speed. And the speed totally justifies the name. 7 teams, 15 players, 22 to 23 minutes is almost over. Demigod, the last player surviving for the team. Let's see how much more place point he could get for the team. But on to the another end, if we talk about Team APP, well, they are still surviving on those western parts of the region. They are still waiting with those man advantages, but it's very necessary to get inside the zone, because those damage of the 6-7 zone, it's going to be unbearable for any team. On to the other end, if we talk about Team ELEMENTRIX, well, ELEMENTRIX is totally moving with those vehicle, with those motorcycle bikes at those end zone, and this proves the confidence of the team. This prove the holdings of the team. And Team APP, well, they're still waiting, they're still moving, and finally one knock and one push.
Well, indeed, Zap Meloria has been taken down at this right moment. If we talk about Team Emulates, guys, well, Bash is the one who has been taken down. APG's Strikes is actually one of those amazing players who is coming up with the domination. Right now, we are left with only 4 teams and 10 players to be precise. The defeats coming up is absolutely amazing. ANGKOR PUBG is once again coming up as well. The ELEMENTRIX is Precious is the guy who has been spotted. If I talk about DRS Gante, he completely goes on the heal battle, and that's the right approach that we were talking about. At actually post your 1 or 2 good teammates outside the particular play zone so that they can actually go ahead and go for the heal battle. That's what actually Team DRS did, and it is actually going to help them a lot. They might actually get the third or the second position even can actually come in from their favor. But right now, the clashes are being very strong. If we talk about Team ANGKOR PUBG, well, APG Xerox is going to be the only guy which is still outside the particular play zone, along with DRS's Gyante, which is also going for the heal battle. As you all can see, the winner chicken dinner forecast is showing us that ANGKOR PUBG M is going to be there with the 30% contribution in their favor. If we talk about Emulator Official, same goes for them with the 30% win prediction. If we talk about ELEMENTRIX, they're also having the 30% win prediction. The only team with the lack of win prediction is going to be DRS's Gante, because he's the only guy which is still surviving, the last one standing from his particular team. The 7th zone is about to get compromised very soon, and I believe with that, Gante's survival is also going to be questionable, to be precise. But apart from that, guys, stay tuned after the match gets over, because I'm going to announce the names of those people who are going to get the UCs. 1000 UC each is going to get delivered to those names. So make sure to actually stay tuned for that. And eventually, hear quite carefully that which are those names who are going to get, let's say, the prize of 1000 UCs each.
Well, at the same time, if we talk about Team ELEMENTRIX, they are having a little bit of height advantages as well as man advantages as well as zone advantages, and what I think they can easily get this match very nicely. But there you go, inside the smoke path, 8 speed has been spotted with an eagle eye, with a dead eye, and finally has got 2 finishes point. Team ELEMENTRIX is looking very in trouble because the last player is surviving and it's almost like a 1v2. Let's see, will he able to clutch it out? And the speed throwables, the speed grenade will be moved forward like accelerating speed, but there you go, speed has been spotted at the another end. E8 Khan will get spotted, and finally the winner chicken dinner is coming for none other than Team 8. Well, if we talk about those finishers point, well, the finishers point, I think they have secured almost 7 to 8 finishers point, but the question is that is that enough to get the overall standings, get the top table standings in the overall position?
Well, that's Emirate Esports for you guys. What an amazing performance coming from their corner. A beautiful manpower, a beautiful consistency, a beautiful level of retaliation coming from their corner. And just like that, they have maintained a beautiful synergy in their favor. And a beautiful winner chicken dinner will easily put them at a safer haven. Right now, let's talk about the, let's say, MVP of this particular match. Before that, we'll talk about the Emirate Esports. That is going to be the winner chicken dinner team, the victor of this particular match. I was expecting a new team, a new face being actually shown as the winner chicken dinner team, to be precise. And this is the first match where the team which have been qualified from the semi-finale is coming up with a beautiful winner chicken dinner. So yeah, that's absolutely amazing to watch out. Right now, let's talk about the MVP. Well, that's going to be TRS's Delta once again with 8 amazing eliminations and a damage of 958, and the team contribution is going to be 57.14%. That means this guy is never going to stop. Even if his team is not going to get the winner chicken dinner, these people are actually going to hunt down the souls of the enemy and eventually make them as a advantage for them.
Well, he's totally proving his worth in the team, and he's totally proving his worth in the game as well. But apart from the MVP, if we move towards the statistics of the match, of the today's third match, there you go. Overall statistics of the third match is 62 elimination has been done, 121 throwables has been used, 22 rescues, revivals has been done. If we talk about the healings, well, Sanhok is a heal, is all about the who's a heal battle. But onto the another end, only 7992 total healing has been done. I'm really very surprised to watch out. But total knocks, 71 knocks for the time being has been done. 5 headshots, 0 airdrops, and the longest distance elimination is of 290 meters.
Indeed, a beautiful performance done and dusted. Right now, if we talk about the match summary, to be precise, the RS Delta is going to be the MVP with the highest elimination. If we talk about Team APG's Astrox, that is the guy with the 1118 damage, to be precise, and that is the guy with the highest damage, to be precise. Apart from that, if we talk about the highest amount of assists, well, the guy from Team Emirate Esports, that is known as Speed, is the one who is having the highest assists in his favor. Highest knockout once again comes in the favor of Delta, and if we talk about the longest elimination, that was Lucifer in the map of Sanhok. Having a 290-meter elimination is absolutely amazing.
Well, of course, this was the match summary of day one, match two, but Delta X is
Match
proving his
3.
name. Well, of course, I'm sorry, match day one and match three, but Delta X is proving his name totally in every statistics and every area, whether it's a damage, whether it's finisher's point, whether it's a headshot, whether it's revival or support. Well, he's proving his worth in every remarkable areas. But if we talk about the match rankings, well, it's Team Abilities official, so with almost those 25 total points in the game. And if we talk about DRX Gaming, 22 overall points, second position. ANGKOR PUBG M, 16 points, third position. And you can see the difference. The difference is slightly decreasing very far. ELEMENTRIX, I was expecting a more lot from them as per their position, as per their holdings, but they have only secured 14 total points. And fourth position, PLAYBOOK Esports 12, Zap MELIORA 6, High Voltage, seventh position, and 5 points.
Indeed, this is the match wise ranking after the day number 1, match number 3. As you can see, people like, let's say, teams like, to be precise, even Esports, RTG, BTS Mafia, DEADEYES, and eventually MABETEX as well, IHC, Esports as well, hashtag SKYLIGHTZ. All the big names are unable to perform. I don't know what is actually happening right now. And I believe the connections from these particular guys in the map of Sanhok was not that adequate, and that is why the result is not favoring them quite a bit. And in the overall standing, I believe these are the few things which easily is going to create an impact. I believe the standings of Emulate Official is obviously going to, let's say, increase a lot. But if we talk about DRS Gaming, that team is for sure going to be the only team which is going to cross the 50-digit marker, and the only team to cross, let's say, 60, 70 points in their favor. But right now, let's talk about the MVP rankings. After the match number 3 of day number 1, Delta still remains on top with 15 amazing eliminations.
Well, of course, Delta X with 15 finishes point in the 15 eliminations points, 1973 damage, second position as secured by Gyante with those 9 elimination. There's no competition between first and second. But if we talk about the third, well, third is secured by Killer Whitey with those 8, and if we talk about the fifth, sorry, fourth, it's Aniko with those 5 finishes point. Joker sir has secured 7 of elimination points and 1323 damage. And if you see the comparison between first and second, or the comparison between first and fifth raider, it's almost double of what we expect.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. The comeback is actually there for sure. If I talk about the head-to-head, there is actually Team TRS Gaming at the rank number 1, and if I talk about ANGKOR PUBG, they have got the hashtag 2 rank in their perspective. Total amount of points that is actually TRS is having is 69, which is absolutely amazing. If I talk about the points that ANGKOR PUBG is actually having, that's 43. Total utilities being used is absolutely way too high, to be precise. Let's say 2-3 times more higher than ANGKOR PUBG in the favor of DRS Gaming. Headshots is pretty much equalized, and average survival time is also looking a bit more, let's say, on the equalizing end. If I talk about the average amount of damage, well, DRS is once again wreaking havoc in that area. And if I talk about the overall ranking, as you can see, DRS Gaming still on top with 69 points. ANGKOR PUBG makes a huge comeback with 43 points in their favor. If we talk about Emulate Official, they have got 35 points out of their own. Same goes for IHC Esports, but right now IHC Esports have been pushed down from hashtag 2 or 3 to hashtag 4. That's not a great sight to watch out. Meanwhile, guys, remember, the winners of giveaway are going to be announced on the caster deck, so make sure to actually be ready for that. And yeah, rules are actually going to get announced at that eventually stance as well.
Well, of course, we talk about Deadeye guys, 33 points, 5th position, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming 23 points, 7th position, ELEMENTRIX 19 points, 8th position, High Voltage 17 points, and they have secured 9th position. But if we talk about the second page, well, it's looking very bad right now here. One NB Esports 18th position, 4 points, RTG 17th 5, Adbax Esports 6th, hashtag 7, and GODL STALWART Esports, well, 14th position with only 8 points, ANGKOR PUBG Pride, well, 9 points, 13th position, and these are the team with a single digit point. And if we talk about the double digit, Zap MELIORA 13 points, 11th position, BTS Mafia 13 points, 10th position. Well, this will be the overall standing of match 3 day 1, which is the second page is very vulnerable, very difficult for the teams to come at those first pages, and especially to come at those top 5 ranking. Let's see how they perform in the last match.
Well, definitely that is going to be the case we want to actually watch out for. But right now, if we talk about the map rotations, as you can see, it's a quick recap for you guys. Erangel was the first match where Deadeye guys went on and had 28 points in their favor. IHC, the second match, it was in the map of Miramar, and IHC came out glorious with 30 amazing points. And if I talk about Emulate Official with 25 amazing points, Sanhok was the map where they reigned on top. And now it's Erangel which is going to be there in front of us, which will sum up the day, which will be the last match for the day. And it is going to be quite crucial to watch out that how the map of Erangel is actually going to turn the tides and make a huge impact in the lobby. But right now, if we talk about the head-to-head, well, it's between Delta and Gyante once again, where eliminations of Delta is absolutely high with the 15 eliminations and a damage of 1973 and 7 assists to be precise. He's actually on top. But when it comes to throwables and the every survival time, I guess Gyante is the guy who is surviving a bit more.
Of course, Gyante in last match it was done by Delta X, but this match they are totally playing phenomenal. They are doing a great work by playing as a team, and everywhere the name of DRS is totally displayed. But by this, the end of statistics of third match will totally end here. And Raider, I would like to end the third match with the enjoyment, and please tell the winners of our RP winners.
Yeah, indeed, guys. That's not happy winner. I believe you are going to get 1,000 UC each.
Oh.
So let me announce the first name, and that is going to be OC Wi-Fi. That guy is going to get 1,000 UC. What you have to do is simply take the screenshot of your comments and give it to the Instagram. Give it to the one who is actually managing the Instagram. I believe the moderators are about to spam the Instagram link, or you can get the link in the description or in the about section of the channel as well.
Yeah.
So you can easily go ahead at Frontline Swiss. You have to search down. If you want to search that, where is the Instagram? Go ahead and the search bar of the Instagram, just search Frontline Swiss. You are easily going to get the Instagram handle of Frontline, and eventually you can just message them, talk with them, and eventually showcase your SS. OC Wi-Fi is one of those guys. Shiva P is the another winner. Noob Gaming is going to be the third winner, and A1 Esports BONI, that is, I believe, A1 Esports Boni is the fourth winner for the day. So, guys, you four of you are going to get thousands UC each. So make sure to actually be happy about that and eventually send us some UCs as well. But right now, guys, we are going to take a short break and we'll be back with the fourth match to sum up the day. Welcome back once again, guys. We are back with another beautiful day, another beautiful fight to be precise. This is going to be the grand finale. The last match that is going to be in the map of Erangel is about to be here right now. My name is Reda. Along with me, it's Eagle on the desk, and we are going to forecast that how the fights are going to be there.
Well, of course. Actually we are going to tell the story how gonna be the upcoming matches and the last matches of Erangel. It's a by default map. It's a very beautiful map, and for the teams, it's gonna be quite challenging as well. But if we talk about the past matches, I think past matches is totally on the favor of the invited teams. But the last match, I think there was a comeback from the approaching team as well. About total 18 teams in the lobby, and if we talk about the fly path from south western parts of the region, the fly path will start, and on the northeastern part of the region, the fly path will end. It's a very diagonal fly path, composing it in the 50 or 50% of the map. And let's see what will be the drop location, will be the drop clashes of the teams.
Well, see, I would like to add on that this particular flight path is just cutting the whole map in a equal, let's say, partition, and that can easily help a lot of teams. But eventually, if you want to drop in, like, let's say, Novoripnoi or areas like Georgipol, that can be very troublesome. 70 can be, let's say, easily accessible. So let's see how the people are going to drop in, and eventually, will there be any kind of drop clashes or not, is something we all actually want to know.
Well, of course, if we talk about the drop clashes, it's a very important part to note out, because if there's a number of drop clashes, then there will be a relief in those central part of the areas. Then there will be a relief in those mid stages of the match. But if there's no number of drop clashes, there will be no relief at those end zone as those central part of the areas. But now, for the time being, if we talk about those military based Novoripno regions, they are looking very silent. They're looking very quiet, because there are only one team at each drop location. Milta is looking really very in a big trouble. Ferrypier, a nice split, as well as in front of Ferrypier, in front of Query, there could be some team Gatka towards Gatka ruins, Georgipol areas. There's some team which are moving towards that areas as well. But Yasna, Poliana, Rozok, Savoni regions, shooting range, these are the regions to watch out. But if we talk about those vehicle clashes, I do think that team can approach those vehicle clashes. But for now, time being, Playbook Esports, well, they are totally moving towards some other regions. Milta and the split, I think that is a little bit different, a different bit unique part. But SFX Sigma, well, finally has secured the first blood for the team.
Well, indeed, the clashes, the chaos are going to be something mesmerizing to watch out right now. If we talk about the Yasna Poliana vicinity, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is actually at their home because they love to drop in this Yasna Poliana region. But apart from that, I believe we have Team No 14 as well in the close vicinity. So there can be a troublesome fight. There can be a tug of war between these two teams so that they can decide that who is going to be the one who is going to loot it up, loot the Yasna to be precise. But high voltages Malik managed to put one down, and that's going to be IHC's Alex down to train and at a loss for the particular team. If I talk about team MABETEX with the 3-man power, I don't think so a lot of situation is going to be that favorable for them, because the way they are actually losing first 3 matches is something I guess these people have to actually work on. Right now, if we talk about the MABETEX stand, they are residing at hashtag 15, which is not a great spot to actually lurk on. Moving upward, we have got Baron in the scene, we have got Leo in the scene, and Apex also coming up on the backboard. Team Deadeye guys is already pushing forward, so that can be very critical, and I believe it's all about to go down for team MABETEX.
On to the another end, if we talk about Team MEB, well, last match was totally fantastic for the team. Let's see how will they perform in this match. This is the last match of the day, and generally we see the last match of the day teams go all in with that yellow approach. But I think it's the first day. They still try to end the day with a good note, but onto the other end, DZOP, well, finally getting some more finishes point. Onto the other end, Playbook Esports is looking very silent. I think they must not having that level of loot, that level of defense system, or that level of weapons in their hand. But onto the other end, the team DE, well, they are finally blowing the teams. They're trying to get those finishes point with those AKM and micros in the hand. I think this is what you need at those early phases. But if we talk about MAB, well, they are having shotguns, which can cause a lot of trouble in that close range.
Shotguns. Well, these are the guns that actually, let's say, the people from PUBG Mobile vicinity actually love to use, because that is the gun which can easily pop out a lot of things. One good shot can easily terminate you, and that can be very critical. Apart from that, if we talk about Team ANGKOR PUBG, let's see how they're going to perform. MABETEX Esports managed to wipe out. Actually, they have been taken, not to be precise. They were unable to manage, let's say, to take out anybody from Team Deadeye guys. Yeah, Joker sir was taken now. That means a 3v3 equalizer fight was actually there, but still, Team Deadeye guys went on a capitalizing end, and just like that manages to survive. If I talk about Team Playbook Esports, Demigod wants to fall back from the Milta Power region, and yes, he was able to actually go with it. Apart from that, if I talk about even in Nightwing manages to actually create a lot of damage. Now with that, his position has been revealed. Yetauta is going to be there, and Shawl is also going to be there. Definitely a very impactful positioning is actually going to be there. Some needs, some throwables have been used up, but nobody got connected with that particular need. And apart from that, Shawl and Yetauta are actually trying to create a different kind of flank, but still the panic situation is coming up. Needs were not actually going on the right kind of, let's say, location. Even Esports is here trying to relegate the fights. I believe Sinister is not not here in the match, and that can actually create a huge amount of decimation for even Esports. Fighting a 3v4 battle can be very troublesome, and as you all can see, one good member from Team Elementrix is already having a different kind of flank in his favor, and that can be very tough for them. And I believe the glitch of this punching in the air and not giving the footstep has been already resolved, but I don't know how these people are using it up. Elementrix, Yerauta, very close, being pruned up, obviously going to compromise his position as well. Nightwing is there, Triode is on the back end, and Sketch is actually furthermore behind.
Of course, if we see Yeta Uta, well, he's very close to his enemies. He's very affronted to his enemy. Let's see how he'll be able to tackle it down. But for now, I think there's a fallback from the enemies. And finally, Yeta Uta is moving forward, but he was not known to the position of other players, and there he has been taken down. And finally, this fight is moved toward those 3v3 balance scenario, and onto the other end, Team ELEMENTRIX last match, I think they ended up with 14th points on those 4th or 5th position. This match, they would like to end the day with quite good numbers in their hand, but I don't think Team A1 will let them, because Team A1 is trying to also get the a day with a good number on their hands as well. But Team A1 for now, 3-man standing, 1 finisher's point in their hand, and looking forward to get those more finisher's point in their backpack. But still, ending with DP28 and 4x, Nightwing, Tryout, as well as if we talk about Sketch, 3-man standing, and the compound hold, I think that becomes very necessary. But on to the other end, Para, well, he's coming with that finally amazing pick. That was like a free pick, that was like a free kill point to the team.
I mean, indeed, the justification of this particular fight can be here, but Sinister, Down to Drain, Sketch, Tryout, and Nightwing trying their level best to delegate the fights. Let's see how much more of a significant damage they can actually pull through. One amazing kill is already there in the favor. Nightwing actually goes in, tries to actually go with the DP28, and we all know that DP28, those burst shots can be very deadly. In the Indian gaming community, we have got a guy known as Snacks who actually goes with the DP burst shots, but right now, well, there we go. Nightwing wants his level best to actually connect the shot, but apart from that, in the lobby, we have got Hashtag Adi coming up with a beautiful blow on Team Deadeye guys, and that's absolutely amazing. As you all can see, Mutton has been taken down. We have got Charisar and Para trying to actually retaliate. Joker Sir, the guy with the highest, let's say, manpower, and the elimination is absolutely out of equation. Another knockout comes in. Charisar manages to actually put one more down from the equation, and with this, I believe Charisar becomes the last man of this particular team. Team Hashtag, meanwhile, comes up with a beautiful molly, and that molly could have been very, let's say, devastating, but eventually the mortal cocktail connection didn't made it out. But apart from that, well, there we go. Sam received some good shots of his own, and a drop shot manages to help him a lot in terms of elimination of Deadeye guys. And right now, Deadeye guys went out at 16, so that means 0 position points for them.
Well, on to the another hand, if we talk about ELEMENTRIX, they are still struggling to get those finishes point. They are still struggling to eliminate Team A1. But on to the another hand, if we talk about Orange, finally has pushed in, finally grenades from onto the another end as well, and from to this side as well. Well, there's a demarcation, there's a partition of grenades from both the side, but still the question is that 15 teams, 52 players are still surviving. And if we talk about the weapons which Orange have, well, M416 with that M16A4, I think M416 will get him a good amount of good amount of confidence, but M16A4 in that close range, I think this could be difficult for the teams, this could be difficult for the players as well. But by these things, only 28 seconds remaining, and after that there'll be the shrink of zone, and it's going to be quite struggling, quite difficult for both of the teams, because damage at the first zone is not that much good. But as per you are waiting, there will be no place, there will be no position inside the zone. And if we talk about Team A1, they are trying to end the day with a good number, with a good finishes point, with a good note, because early elimination in this match, again, you will have only a single digit in overall standings.
Well, indeed, and that is something you don't want to actually go. You don't want to actually go out with, because right now, after the end of this particular day, the only, let's say, days which are going to be left is going to be 2 more days to be precise. That's 15th October and the 16th October, and 8 more matches to go with. So definitely, after the loss of 4 amazing matches, I believe the comeback is going to be a bit more troublesome. DRS is still here in the lobby, and that's absolutely amazing. The team which is still on top is actually trying to be on top with 69 amazing points. They are looking very strong, and if they get a 31 point war bomber, and if they actually are able to receive that kind of, let's say, chaos in their favor, I believe they are easily going to bump it up to the 100-point marker. But I believe right now the goal is going to be definitely being consistent. Chicken is something which DRS fails to get every single time, but I believe this could be the match where the things might actually be in their favor.
Of course, this is going to be quite difficult map for the both of the teams. But for another time being, if we look at the zone, well, zone is a little bit difficult, little bit different. I was expecting there could be some more watery regions, but for now, the teams there's a central shift of the zone and Team Elementary X. Well, finally, mutually, I don't think it's mutually decided. I think it's partially decided by Team Elementary X that they'll disengage the fight, towards the zone rotation, prioritize the zone. But onto the other end, there you go. Team APP is back in action. Have lost one player, and onto the other end, one player is knocked, but they're still going with that. Grenades, throwables, and unlucky. The pressure is totally seen on this team. Joseph Pro is that solo player standing, and this unlucky team, especially that Molotov on itself, on themselves, I think that was very difficult. And we could see the pressure at those end games. The pressure is totally visible by the teams, and Team E8, well, the chicken dinner team of the last match, has totally secured 2 finishes point in the backpack and still moving forward some more.
They have to move forward. They have to attain some good points. In the third one, I guess they got the beautiful winner chicken dinner. But after that, in this particular one, obviously their consistency should be delivered, and that's what I guess Deadeye Guys is feeling to do so. Because in the first match, Deadeye Guys went out and had a beautiful winner chicken dinner, had a banger performance. But after that, their performance went down to drain. In this match, to be precise, the fourth one, the last one of the day, number one, Deadeye Guys is already out of equation, and that's something people have to be worried about. MABETEX with the 3-man power was also taken down with only 1 point in their favor in this particular match. They are actually at a overall total of only 7 points, not even able to touch the double-digit marker. But moving up ahead, let's talk about more and more teams coming up in the lobby. We have got the second zone getting circulated. 11 minutes and let's say 35 seconds have been passed out, and these 11 minutes and 35 seconds have been very crucial for every single team. The way these are surviving, the way these people are actually trying to delegate the fights is something we actually have to learn with. If I talk about Team Underground Kings, I believe their IGL has decided that the area of Yasna Poliana, or should I say the western area of Yasna Poliana, is going to be somewhere in the zone. So definitely they have decided that they are going to pull through in that kind of action. Apart from that, Team number 4 is also way too close. Team 13 is also going to be there. But SKYLIGHTZ Gaming AJ managed to put one down from Team High Voltage, and that's going to be Malik. Now it's only the question where Team High Voltage is going to come back with a let's say retaliation, or is it going to be a possibility where Malik is for sure going to go down to train?
Well, it's going to be quite difficult scenarios for Team SKYLIGHTZ as well, because onto the other end, if you see Team High Voltage, both of the team like fights, both of the teams like aggression. And if we talk about Nima, well, he's moving too forward to aggression, but he's going to be quite lucky enough. He'll clutch the players, he'll clutch the teammates, and Mr. Boro onto the other end is trying to get some more finishes point. Team High Voltage is looking really in a big danger scenario, and this danger is conducted by none other than the one and only Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. And there you go, grenades, throwables, Molotov, it's totally back in action. But behind the screen there is Team IHC, while trying to get some more finishes point. Third party scenarios also been indulging out, and Team SKYLIGHTZ, well, I think they could be easily executing this fight and getting this fight in their favor if they go with the same flow.
I mean, they have to maintain the flow, they have to maintain their legacy, and eventually, right now, they have to actually pull up some good points as well. But let's see how they are going to do with, and eventually, 2 good eliminations are there for Team High Voltage as well. Malik, Praveen, after the loss of those 2 members, Jigal and Assassin were able to capitalize and eventually gain 2 points. But there we go, Jigal receives a beautiful lead on his face, and right now, Jigal has been taken down. Assassin on the back foot can actually create a huge ruckus in the lobby because his position is pretty much unknown. Elementrix Orange on the other corner managed to put one down from Team A1 Esports, and now that's very decimating. The beautiful lead went out. Nima might actually get the splash damage, but that was also something which didn't happen. Boro on the other corner is here with the US. He's trying to establish the connection coming up, but there we go. A1 Esports NB tryout was able to actually provide a beautiful retaliation, and just like that, High Voltage is also out of equation. A1 Esports wants to form back, wants to actually retaliate, but let's see how many points they are actually going to gain in this particular matchup. Orange being actually diminished, Orange being actually traded off. Precious comes up with a revival, I believe. Let's say Precious is actually going to get that revival done and dusted. Let's see how this whole situation will be carried away, because these guys have to travel a total of 865 meters to just be in the zone. So definitely a huge amount of, let's say, difficulties is going to be there for the team.
But not timing, if you see the areas, if you see the zone, if you see the teams, so 13 teams of 40 players are still surviving, and almost 15 minutes are almost over. But teams, I was expecting that team would go very lethal, very aggressive in the last match, but they're still going with that slow and steady approach. And if you see Trial 001 is trying to take some more points, he's trying to take some more finishes point in Team ELEMENTRIX. Well, good driving skills. At these panic situation, we often do some mistake, we often do some wrong decision, we often take some wrong decision. But here Team ELEMENTRIX, well, the driving skills were totally phenomenal to watch out, and they are still moving inside the zone, and the damage of the zone, I think this could be totally seen on the screen. And Team ELEMENTRIX, last 2 players standing, 3 finishes point has been secured, and let's see what this duo, what this deadly duo can perform out, what they can take out of this game. Because if we talk about the overall standings, they are still being seen on the first page at those 8th, 9th of position. If this match is great for the team with those 20 to 25 points, I think they could make on top 5 teams as well at the end of the day.
Oh, indeed. I believe once again the closeness and the proximity of these particular teams are actually coming up. Tryout with that minimal HP is still surviving, and that's interesting to watch out. Top 13 teams are surviving, 40 players are there residing in the lobby, 15 more seconds to go. After that, the post zone will also punch in. As you can see, SKYLIGHTZ is going to hold up the gas station. But meanwhile, they are trying to do so. I believe there is another clash coming up. So yes, of course, there is a tug of war between these two teams. That's going to be a MABETEX official, I believe. The team which actually got the previous winner when the chicken dinner wants to actually survive, but eventually I believe SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is not going to let it go that easily. Every single team wants to hold a beautiful area of, let's say, confrontation in their favor. Even Esports, if I'm not wrong, Tryout, the last man standing, is actually coming up in a compound, and he is trying his level best to loot as many as band-aids that are possible. But I don't think so there is a lot of possibility coming up. But eventually SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, one good member already down to drain. He's been taken down. The other one is actually knocked out. But if we're talking about Mafia Ninja, he gets stabbed from the back foot, and this is Hashtag Gaming coming up as a blessing in disguise for Team MABETEX official.
Well, of course, but if we talk about Team SKYLIGHTZ, so almost 4 finishes point have been secured. They have lost one player is almost knocked onto the another end. Team ELEMENTRIX, well, they are looking really very in a big trouble. The last player standing, let's see what this Lone Ranger can do with those grenades and molotovs. You can spot, you can stop the enemies for moment of a while, for a few minutes or few seconds, but finally he has been shotted and he has been spotted by other teams as well. And there you go, the final blow, the elimination of Team ELEMENTRIX with those 13th position in this match was finally done. And if we talk about Team RTG, well, they are 4 men standing almost those edges of the zone with those 1 finish point in their backpack. 17 to 18 minutes are almost over. And if we talk about Team IHC, well, this match, if they get those 10, 15, 20 points, I think they will again on the top 3 position. But Team IHC, as well as in front of them, it's Team UG. Well, they initiate those fight at those early stages. At this point of the time, I think someone will lose, someone will gain, and whichever team gains, I think there will be increase in overall points table.
Yeah, indeed, definitely a lot of ruckus is going to be there for sure. A lot of casualty is going to be there. So let's see how these teams are going to develop it. If we talk about Team Underground KINGZ, well, there we go. Range is actually on the target of IHC GODL, but he fails to connect anybody. Right now, 12 teams are surviving. 37 players are just trying to actually delegate and get the beautiful winner chicken of this last match for the day. But let's see how they're going to perform. Oh, on the back end, Demo also received some good shots. Lamborghini is not going to give him the cover, and there we go. From MELIORA, I guess another knockout is actually there. That is absolutely amazing. Team MELIORA is actually trying to perform. And Nemo tries to push another beautiful nade, comes from Bako's corner. I believe the reign of terror of IHC is about to go down to dust, because GODL remains the last man standing, and he won't be able to, let's say, go ahead and get the revival done, because there is no possibility that the revival is going to be there in front of them. IC is already about to go down. Nero gets the finish, and there we go. Endless to be precise, from Team MELIORA managed to get the point, but Endless also gets connected. Akira also gets connected, and that was the need coming from Lucy's corner. UGK has completely broken the code that how these people are trying to perform and how the gas station has to be retaliated with. There we go. The retaliation plan is absolutely mesmerizing. As you can see, the last member standing from the Team MELIORA goes in, tries to actually go with a 1v1. That beautiful 1v1 was not in his favor, and with this, MELIORA, with only 2 eliminations, goes out at hashtag 12. That means just 3 points for them, 1 for position, 2 for finisher.
We see, I think Team UGK is looking very phenomenal in this match. At those end phases of the match, they're totally playing with a lot of intense, with a lot of aggression. But if we talk about Team PBE, well, they are moving very slowly, because if you are the last player standing, if you're the solo player standing, the only thing you can do for the team, you can get those survival points, you can get those place point. But onto the other end, Team HASTAG, well, last 2 players standing, 5 finishers point, but the approach is very much clear. They still want to get those finishers point. They still want to get those more number of points in the terms of elimination. But on to the other end, team, there could be a chance that there could be a clashes between Hashtag and PB, because 1v2 I don't think is like impossible. You can always do like you can always retain like that. But if we talk about PB, well, ranked, well, I think this player can totally be doable. This player has the capability, this player has the potential. But onto the another end, Ahmed is coming with that off guard rotation skills. S4M, well, I think the position revealed and the off guard angles is totally be directed towards ranked. And what do you think, Raider? Will ranked able to do 1v2, or will team hashtag be able to easily defend the fight?
Now, if we talk about team Playbook Esports, they are trying to wreak havoc on hashtag. Let's see what they are actually trying to go with. Sam69 completely been taken down. Ahmed on the other corner was also being taken down. As you can see, the retaliation fire is not going to be that easy for them. Sam69 moves in, tries to actually cook up some first kit so that he can actually just reach out to the particular play zone, but that won't be an easy effective task for them. RTG Adnan on the other corner gets out with the vehicle blow, and there we go. Team RTG is getting backlashed. Hitman being the last one standing of this particular team. I don't think so he will be able to, let's say, res out his teammate, and yeah, that's what happened. DRS KILOYT attained the finishes. Team GRS, whenever they come in, I believe the suspicion of, let's say, that enormous harm is going to be there, and that's what is actually happening. As you can see, Team DRS is constantly trying their level best to find out a huge gap from which this can actually fall back. The amazing eliminations are there for Team DRS with the 4-man power. This team is still looking very confident, and after a huge showdown in the past, let's say 3 matches, I guess this one is again going to be quite glorious.
Well, of course, if they come with that same consistency and same confidence, which we are looking forward for, I think Team DRS can again get those top 3 position in this match. And I think the missing chicken dinner in the first and second match could be retained in this last match. If we talk about the position, well, 4-man standing, 4 finishes point, the platform has been set, the base has been set by Team DRS. And now the question is that how will you utilize that platform, how will you utilize that stage given to you by Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming? Well, I don't think you should move like that in the end zone without holding the weapon. This could cost you a bit higher, and there you go. Within a snap, within a while, Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, just because of their carelessness, they have been eliminated. But onto the other end, Team DRS, well, they are still coming with that same approach. And Delta X, well, there is the courtesy, well, there is the work which we were waiting for, and finally they are not ready to give any player down. 4-man standing, Team DRS still moving towards the zone, but the only team surviving inside the zone with that 4-man strong advantage is Team APP with those 3-man strong, and the open wheat fields are totally proclaiming that this last match, this last zone, gonna be quite difficult for all of the teams.
Well, definitely the difficulty is going to be there. Amulet official, after getting the previous win on the chicken, is looking a little bit more strong in this particular matchup. 6 teams are surviving. Apart from that, if we talk over Team ANGKOR PUBG, well, this is amazing team with the 3-man power. They are actually holding the zone in their favor. But apart from that, I believe that's another team trying to actually move in. That could be Team UGK. That means Team Underground Kings is already moving into the zone and already creating a ruckus. If we talk about Team DRS, KILOYT actually received a huge amount of damage and now moving up ahead. They are still trying to actually retaliate and be in the zone. Well, being in the zone is not going to be an easy task, and as you all can see, Delta gets popped by the damage. But now they have to move in. They have to actually retaliate. Is it going to be a possibility for Team DRS? I don't think so. On the other corner, ANGKOR PUBG managed to get more and more points. As you all can see, they're out to the guy who is going to get more and more eliminations done and dusted. As you all can see, Team BTS MAFIA is also going to be eliminated at #5. That means only 6 points for them in position. DRS on the other corner receives some good shots as Rules OGU is going to get connected. Apart from that, Yante manages to go down with the nades coming from UGK's corner. That's absolutely mesmerizing. The nades are still coming up from DRS. That won't be an easy task for them, but KILOYT managed to put one down, and that was absolutely mesmerizing. That means Amulet official is also looking under a huge amount of trouble, to be precise. A heap of succession is going to be there, to be precise. Rules OG managed to put one down, and Xerox is going to be on the back foot. Lucifer might actually receive some shots from Team GRS, but there we go. KILOYT gets connected once again. 4 faster kits, 1 med kit is also there in his hands. That means he can easily create a huge significant dent in the lobby. But Amulet official, after getting a beautiful Chikadina, is back again with the consistency, because the last man standing from that particular guy, that particular team, to be precise, is in the water body. And I believe that the revival, or should I say the survival, is going to be very, very on point for them.
Finally, we are in the top 4 teams, the top 12 alive players, and if we talk about Team APP, there are 2 men standing with those 5 finishes point in their backpack, still waiting for that final blow, final chicken dinner, but they attain. If they attain the man advantage, I think it's going to be quite impossible. But on to the other end, one more team has elimination has been confronted out. 3 teams, 10 players are surviving, 7 finishes point have been secured by Team UG. What do you think? Will Team DRS will able to get that chicken dinner, because the missing chicken dinner in the first second match, I think it's going to be quite disturbing for the team. If they get the chicken dinner, nobody can stop them being the table toppers, as well as getting a great buffer in the overall point standing as well. Or there will be some other team, Team APP, will get this chicken dinner. This is quite challenging, but as we can see that winner chicken dinner forecast, it's a Team UG who can get the chicken dinner, because they are having the man advantage. They're having a good position inside the zone. Some players are inside the zone, which will create a lot of difference in overall standings as well. But what I believe, if Team DRS go with that same confidence and same approach, they can surely get this match as well.
3 teams, 10 players. This is all we actually have right now. UGK Lucy comes up with a nade, and that can be very on point. The nade goes in. I believe the on point nade is easily going to create a splash damage. And yes, of course, the splash damage was delivered. 5 defeats are there from the corner. UGK have got the 7 kills. I would love to see what DRS is actually having right now. How many kills that they've actually attained is, to be precise, is the number I want to actually go with. I believe 7 kills are there from Team DRS's corner as well. UGK few have got the 3 nades in his favor, and he's just constantly cooking up and eventually trying to pop out some good nades as well. As Stocks on the other corner manages to aim on the location from which UGK's few was trying to actually attack them. But now the rotation comes in as soon as the zone is actually going to get constructed. I believe the people are also trying to establish their reign of terror. But will it be an easy task? I don't think so, because the center point of this particular play zone has been used by Team Underground, known as Underground Kings, to be precise. This could be the team who can easily get the winner chicken dinner if they choke. That is going to be very, very unfathomable, to be precise. But there we go. Rules Hoji gets connected with a beautiful molly. He has been taken out from APG's guys. That means ANGKOR PUBG is once again trying to capitalize. But Q gets spotted from Skynin, and just like that, the manpower is now coming up the equalizer. Now it's a 3v3v3.
Well, of course, it's a 3v3v scenario, but the question is that which team will get that winner chicken dinner. Weather forecast, which winner chicken dinner forecast has finally changed. Team DRS is getting clusterized, getting sandwichized, because the 2 teams are pushing similarly at the same time towards Team DRS. But onto the other end, Team UG is finally get challenging Team APP. What do you think, Raider? Will Team DRS able to take that winner chicken dinner? MG36 light machine gun finally on the blow. One player has been taken down, moving towards another player. Team UG KINGZ is totally on fire, playing phenomenally. It's now finally for that 1v 2v3, and no, it's like 1v3, and APP Sky and solo player standing. Will he able to get that blow? Team UG, I think it's getting the chicken dinner for that team, and Team APP, I think clutch is indeed needed here, and there you go. Team APP will finally lose the match. I'm sorry, Team APP will finally get this match, get the winner chicken dinner out of everything with those man advantage in their favor. And this was the last match, which was very phenomenal to watch out. And what do you think? Who will be the MVP of the match, Raider?
Well, I would like to see that MVP is someone, to be precise, who has actually got the most amount of, let's say, kills in his favor. I don't know which was the guy who actually went out quite aggressively, but I believe every single team tried to perform their actually best. And if we talk about, like, let's say DRS Gaming, 7 to 8 finishes from the corner. If we talk about ANGKOR PUBG, 7 to 8 finishes or 9 finishes, to be precise, from the corner as well. So this is how the game actually went out. But right now, the winner chicken dinner of the last match of day number 1 of the grand finale of Frontline Showdown is going to be the team known as Underground Kings, and they are clearly going to be very aggressive in the next upcoming days. I believe the performance is something which is going to be quite crucial for them. But the way they performed, the way they actually managed to gain the points was absolutely amazing. But now the MVP is going to be once again from Underground Kings, and that's Vaku with 5 amazing kills, 921 of damage, and 45.45% of the team contribution.
Well, of course, the Vaku is a new player. We have seen the new name in the MVP list, and finally he has secured 5 elimination with 921 damage and 45.45% of contribution to his team. And let's see in the overall standings, in the overall list, what are the other players' names as well? Who are all the other players who will be performing out? But in the MVP list, we are still waiting for the MVP list. But on to the other end, if we talk about the overall statistics of today's match, well, we'll move towards the overall statistics very soon. And well, Rita, what do you think? Which team will get that the most highest MVP list? But if we talk about the highlights, well, from here the match has been started. Well, Team ELEMENTRIX finally started the blow and got the which got some more finishes point, and then finally moved towards another fast. Then finally moved towards another way. Disengages the fight, which was a right decision from their side, and gain some more finishers point in the backpack. But if we talk about high voltage, they looked really very in a big trouble, and from here they got eliminated. And Team SKYLIGHTZ, well, they totally proved their worth of being surviving in this match.
Well, indeed, the fights were absolutely mesmerizing. If I talk about Team RTG, well, they also tried their level best to attain some good points. I had seen demo on that back end area of the Lamborghini was the opening for Team IHC, and that was the moment where Team UGK's Waco's name actually came in, and just like that, the situations were not that favorable. And if I talk about Zap MELIORA, the last man standing from Zap MELIORA was also taken down by a few, and just like that, Team Underground KINGZ established their dominance in that particular fight. And Underground KINGZ, after actually having that kind of, let's say, courage, after eliminating IHC, after eliminating Zap MELIORA, that team went out on an rampage and eventually destroyed every single team which was there in front of them.
Of course, they destroyed the team, every single team in front of them. But my approach was that if Team DRS would win, I think it would be more better, because getting second position and then third position in the last match would be very difficult. They should work why they're missing at those end flick, why they are missing the finishing touch in the match again and again, because getting second in back-to-back matches and then third in the last match is very crucial to work out. If you get the back-to-back chicken dinner, I think your team confidence and the overall standings, your team approach will be very great in the lobby and the overall standings in the match as well. But if we talk about the Underground KINGZ, well, the man advantage, the communication, the performance of this team, and especially this player on the screen, KINGZ, was totally phenomenal to watch out. He was playing on another level in this match. I think they should perform with the same intent, same approach in the past matches also. So they could also get some more finishes point and some more better holdings in the other match.
Right now, let's talk about the overall statistics. Well, 59 eliminations were actually secured. The total healings that was being used was 8,576. If I talk about the total amount of knocks, well, that was 66 amazing knockouts, 308 throwables being used up, 1 airdrop was also looted, 5 amount of headshots were also delivered, total rescues were 21, and IHC Godless is going to be the guy from Team IHC who has got the longest ever elimination in this particular match, and that is 347 meters to be precise.
Well, of course, this was the longest elimination onto the other end. If we talk about the match summary, well, it's UJ Kwai with those 5 elimination there. He have secured the 5 elimination, highest damage of 921. E8 Khan, well, 4 highest assist. If we talk about highest knocks, UG Clusi have secured highest knocks, and IHC Godless 347 meter longest elimination distance have been secured. But overall match ranking of this particular match, 15 place point by Undergod KINGZ, 11 elimination, total 26 points, and ANGKOR PUBG M, well, total 19 points have been secured by ANGKOR. And DRS Gaming, again 18 points. You can see the consistency in the points table itself. A little bit of more consistency by DRS could secure them a good chicken dinner. Emulate Official 13 points again. Last match was a chicken dinner from this team. HASTAG Esports 8 points from their side. BTS Mafia 7, and RTG Esports 5 points. And then we can see a single digit from each and every team with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, indeed, the fights and the mashups of this particular teams was absolutely amazing. As you all can see right now, the match-wise ranking was absolutely amazing to watch out. Moving up ahead, if I talk about the eliminations and damage perspective to be precise, APG, MABETEX, Team PLAYBOOK Esports, even NB, or should I say High Voltage, Zap MELIORA, ELEMENTRIX, IHC, RTG. These are the few teams which are unable to perform the way they wanted to. Same goes for BTS Mafia as well, but BTS Mafia was able to attain some good position points in their favor, so that was something which was mesmerizing. But right now, if we talk about the eliminations and damage, BTS Mafia along with the rest teams that actually I was talking about were unable to perform the way these performances were actually bound to happen. But right now, guys, Bangladesh YT RF is asking that how many matches are left. So let me remind you, 8 amazing matches are more to go. Right now, today, the grand finals day number 1 is already about to just, let's say, be at an end. The remaining matches are going to be there on tomorrow and day after tomorrow. But MVP rankings in front of us, DRS Delta still on top with 17 amazing eliminations. Gante at second position with 11 eliminations, and Killer YT with 11 eliminations has been. It's meanwhile, I believe one more guy from Team DRS has to be here right now so that they can create a squad, let's say, MVP ranking in this particular player as well.
Well, of course, they could create a squad MVP ranking in this page, but because he could be the sniper or assaulter, keeping these things aside, if we talk about the Godless, 6 finishes point in his backpack as solo player, and on to the other end, if we talk about Team PBE, 5 finishes point is secured by Ranked and AP God Easy Boy. Well, he have secured 5 finishes point. AP Cheers have secured 6 finishes point. SKYLIGHTZ players have secured 6 finishes point, and IHC finally have secured 4 finishes point, which is the 10th position in MVP ranking list as day one match 4 overall statistics. But what do you think in the overall standing? What will be the result? What will be the approaches of the team? From my side, it's totally confronted that Team DRS will get that first
Yeah.
position. But what about the second, third position? Which team can be seen in the second, third position?
Would like to see some more teams coming up at their favorite locations, but before that, let's talk about the head-to-head. This is post day number 1, match number 4. DRS Gaming remaining at the first position to be precise, and ANGKOR PUBG is at the second position, which is absolutely mesmerizing to watch out. The total points that DRS have actually attained to 87, 62 for ANGKOR PUBG. Eliminations is way too high. Let's say 25 points is more than enough to create an embarkment, to create a difference between two teams, and that's what DRS did. Winner chicken dinner for both of them is a 0. Average damage is actually looking way too high for Team DRS with 1740 in their favor. Average survival is a little bit, let's say, close to each other, and headshot also goes in for the same locations, but the amount of utilities being used up is slightly, let's say, just double to the amount of utilities being used by ANGKOR PUBG. That means ANGKOR PUBG was able to use 63 utilities, but 150 utilities were used from DRS Gaming's corner.
Of course, a huge amount of utilities were used, and finally the wait is over. Overall standings of post day match 4 is in front of us, and we can clearly see the buffer between first and second, and between second and third. 87, 62, and then 62 and 48. Team DRS Gaming have secured 87 total points, 45 elimination, which is one-sided domination in this match. And the second team, ANGKOR PUBG, well, 20 elimination point and 62 overall points. We can see the 25, the gap of 25 points is totally cleared, which is the elimination point, and the domination of Team DRS Gaming is totally visible in the points table.
Indeed, it is visible, no doubt in that. ELEMENTRIX once again is actually going to end up the first page, but VTS Mafia starts off with the second page to be precise, with 20 points in their favor. High Voltage have got 19 points. Zap MELIORA going down in rain with the 16 points. Hashtag and RTG Esports are slightly uprising themselves. If we talk about ANGKOR PUBG Pride, they've got 9 points in the favor. GODL STALWART with 8 points as well. MABETEX Esports with 7 points. And to be precise, if I talk about GODL STALWART, they have played only 2 matches, so obviously a comeback can be delivered in the lesser amount of matches that they've actually played. Hashtag 16 is going to be the position that they've attained. MABETEX Esports with 7 of their own. Even ND Esports is actually here with 6 points. But right now, let's go to the map rotations and give you the brief of what happened today. Starting it off, it was Erangel. The map was Erangel to be precise, and the amount of, let's say, points that have been delivered by DEADEYES was 28. IHC Esports manages to get the second winner chicken to be precise, with 30 points in their favor. And if we talk about the third one, it was Emulate Official with a beautiful winner chicken of 25 points in their favor. Sanhok was there in the back, and Underground KINGZ comes up with the last one. And summing up the day, Erangel was the final match of the day.
Well, of course, Erangel was the final match of the day, and we have started from Erangel, ended from the Erangel, and like this, the Frontline Championship day 1 is ended. And I would like the teams and like the audience to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the stream. But if we talk about the last head-to-head challenge, well, DRX Delta X and DRX Gante is in front of each other, and 17 elimination has been secured by Delta X. 11 elimination onto the another end is secured by Gante. Damage, well, Gante is leading very hard with almost a 600 extra damage. If we talk about the assist, 4 extra assist is done by Delta X, and 32 throwables is used by Delta X, and 44 throwables is used by Gante. And if we talk about the survival time, well, survival is more better done by Gante with 24 minutes and Delta X with 20 minutes and 35 seconds.
Well, definitely the journey has been done and dusted. Between the head-to-head, I believe the competition was absolutely surreal, no doubt on that. The damage was done and dusted. The people tried their level best to delegate with the fight, but eventually I love the way how this particular day went out. The performance was something absolutely amazing to watch out, be it the starting from the Deadeye guys. But eventually, I guess for Deadeye guys, the consistency was something which was lacking behind, because in the first one, after getting that 28-point bomber, their performance went out down to drain. They were unable to retaliate. They were unable to gain some good points in their favor, and
Yeah.
slowly but surely their performance just declined a lot. But if we talk about DRS, Hats off to their consistency. In just 4 matches, they have attained 87 amazing points, so they're pretty close to touching the century in their favor. That was absolutely mesmerizing. But right now, we are coming to an end of the day. Anything to add on, Egan?
Well, I'll just ask my audience to please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream, support the events and upcoming events, because events like this is not that easy. There's a lot of team, there's a management team, there's a production team, caster team, and many more to go through. So, guys, we just need your support with that like target of 1,000. So, please do hit that like target, and we'll end the day today here. And please stay safe, take care, keep supporting us, and we'll meet tomorrow with the same time and with same entertainment.